Yo, what's up, guys? This is Drizzt, and today we are having a special neck to neck. This one has been voted as the most must-see, premiere event, Showtime neck to neck out of all of the ones I've pulled, and that is having a discussion with the boy Tyquan 1000 Finest. What's up, dude?
Yo, 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 what's up?
So I guess we'll just like get right into the meat and potatoes of everything. You want to tell anyone, anything about yourself, Ty, before we get into it, or you just want to get right into the heat of things,
Okay, I'll tell y'all about myself some. Let's see.
the backstory?
You said so pretty much I like One Piece. I seen the anime first. I seen an episode with Zoro. He had three swords. And I'm like, what? I never seen this before. So that got my attention and I checked One Piece out since then and it's been great. That's how stuff gets my attention. Like stuff like My Hero kind of recently got my attention. I think it's okay. Like it was a little bit better actually getting to see it than what I was seeing online, like random pieces of it. But I get bored kind of quick, and I don't really like a bunch of anime and manga like that. I just like certain ones, like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, uh, Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't like every single one that's out there, but One Piece is great. I like One Piece. So I seen a couple of people streaming and stuff like that. I was in the comments on Brago's stream. They were talking about Kuma is stronger than Ivankov. I didn't agree, so I was making my points in the comments, and then they let me on stream, and then they welcomed me back, and I've been there like ever since. And after a while, people was like, "Ty, make your own channel." So I made my own channel. That's Tyquan 1000 Finest, where I have my One Piece videos. If you want to see my One Piece videos on my channel, it'll be a playlist, and it'll be like One Piece power scaling, and theories, and that's where my One Piece power scaling and theories are. Um, it seems like not to put nobody else down because I'm not trying to put nobody else down, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of people that does power scaling. Like Legend Mac does power scaling. Legend Mac is good. But I think I'm like the best at power scaling in the community, and if not top three, because it's like people do mostly predictions. They do chapter predictions and theories. Nobody's really like power scaling, not being biased.
So, how did you go from doing One Piece stuff to like only Yu-Gi-Oh streams?
Well, I like Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is my favorite card game. Uh, Mega Man is my favorite side-scrolling game. Pokemon's my favorite RPG game, and One Piece is like my favorite manga or like anime, but that's about a story though. I think One Piece story is like I wouldn't say it like it's almost flawless, but I wouldn't say that it's flawless, but it's like they have like the greatest best story. So it's one of the things that I like a lot. And with One Piece, what happened is that I've been liking these chapters a lot, like especially with like Whole Cake Island and stuff. So I like these chapters so much that I don't really want to review the chapters and stream. I want to just like enjoy the chapters as a fan of the series. I don't want to be, I don't have to get all technical and stuff like that and be like in a reviewer mode or be like all technical and analytical and stuff like that. Or like, because I really be enjoying the chapters. Sometimes like I don't know what's up. I think some people have legit reasons to like, not like a chapter, but I think something happened where like saying a chapter's trash got popular. So like
Fair.
we'll get a bunch of people saying that like, the chapters is trash. I think Roger said something like that at the Reverie stream. He was like, like, nah, like these chapters are good to me. But that seems kind of popular. So then sometimes like I could read a chapter and be like, yo, this is great. Yo, this is 10 out of 10. Yo, this is woo. Oh, what I outdid it so. You know what I mean? And then like I go into a stream and then it's like, oh, this chapter's a 3 out of 10. The chapter kicks rocks. I'm like, yeah, like what y'all mean? This chapter's great. And it's like, then I'll be in there trying to like, debate about the chapter being good or not. And I don't really want to do that. I just want to like, if it's like 10 out of 10 to me, I want to read it and enjoy it. And that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? Maybe jump in on a stream or something like that and talk for a bit or maybe host my own stream. But I don't want to be every single time a chapter drops, reviewing a chapter just because it's so great. Like I want to read it and enjoy it as I've been doing because
Hmm.
you know too. I think you have to deal with this is that like when the chapter comes out, you got to hurry up and read it. You know what I mean? Then you got to like either like do your live reaction or you got to do your review because you got to have it up early. And it's like I don't want to do all of that. I want to like I'd be busy, so I want to like if the chapter might come out 2 in the morning, I want to read it like 3 o'clock the next day or something like that. I don't want to like
Right.
have to like read it as soon as it comes out because that kills. See, that's the thing that kills my entertainment of One Piece. I don't want my One Piece entertainment killed at a time like this where like to me it's like the best it's ever been because the stakes is higher. We're dealing with Yonkos and stuff like that now. It's not like before we was only dealing with Shichibukai. So, I don't want to have to like rush and read the chapter as soon as they come out. I want to like take my time, and if a day is going bad or whatever the case is, or if it's just boring or something, I know I can read the chapter and that'll be dope. So I also like like if One Piece is like your special move, I like saving it. You know what I mean? Like save the chapter and stuff. So
Hmm.
that's why I stream Yu-Gi-Oh more and do One Piece less. But I am making more One Piece videos recently. I'm trying to keep on top of like a stream every week at least.
So you kind of moved away from making power scaling videos just into doing streams.
No, I still make power scaling videos, but
What's the last one
it
you made?
seems like when the last one I made. So
Yeah.
I haven't made any power scaling videos, but at the same time, I upgraded my laptop. I upgraded the software on my laptop to use a drawing tablet I got
Yeah.
because I'm working on my drawing, and upgrading my Mac ISO or whatever it's called. It made it so that my editor program doesn't work anymore. So I don't have an editor program to edit my videos anymore, like to make those kind of videos. So that's part
Yeah.
of it too. And it's just better when like I could show my examples and stuff like that. Like those are the kind of videos that I like to make. And then that's another thing too. It kind of changed recently. I think YouTube is doing something where like if you have copyright images, they just remove it from your video and your video stays up. But my best videos, those are the ones that have like 50,000 views on it. They might have like 100,000 views on it. Is the ones I made where I make my points and I show the clips from the anime that
Hmm.
matches it. But every time I make those videos, I get a copyright strike. I got to fight it. I get a copyright strike. I got to fight it. And it's like this crazy thing. And then my videos, they get a bunch of views, but then the copyright strike kills on my video views momentum. Then they show back up 3 weeks later. It's like it's too hard. Like I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. That's kind of the reason why too. Like if I was able to just say my points, edit my videos, post them without no copyright issues,
Hmm.
I would have way more videos. But it's like I can't really do that. So then it's like I could just either make picture videos, which is not as good, or just make streams. So I kind of been debating my points in streams more than like making a power scaling videos. But I do have a lot of power scaling videos that people haven't seen. They're on my channel, um, and my playlist. One Piece power scaling videos. That's why I made like the Marco versus Kizaru one, the Sabo versus Fuji one, the what happened with Akainu and Aokiji. Like whether Alcaino had an advantage versus Aokiji or not. I don't think he did. We've seen Punk has it split and even 50-50. And One Piece is kind of like a Pokemon thing. Where like it seemed I don't know what your thoughts is on it, but it seemed like Ace had a double foot advantage versus Aokiji, like when his fire melted the ice away.
I don't know if it's
Or you
advantage. I
think
guess they kind of like they basically just traded for me. It's like it was equal almost.
all right, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like not all right, see, but Aokiji is strong. So even though Aokiji was strong and Ace had an advantage, it just ended up equal. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't to where like Ace just overpowered him is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Because if you don't think that um Ace had a power advantage, like some type advantage versus Aokiji, then
Hmm.
that means that Ace is just that strong, which puts him on Admiral level, like I Ben said he was in my older power scaling videos. I said I think Ace was like A- Admiral level. To me, I like what I do, and I think it makes it simple whether we're talking about it like this or we're having like a tier stream. Admiral levels is like to me anyway, it's A minus. That's like low Admiral level, but still
Okay.
Admiral level. Don't get it twisted. Like it's nothing bad about nah, why he A minus? He's trying to like nah, like so like I put Kizaru at A minus. And so like you seen what he did at Sabata Odi, you know what I mean? Like you seen what he did at Marineford. Some people was impressed at that. I wasn't really impressed with him at Marineford. But some people was like, yo, he's the only admiral who didn't take any damage. So, that's something that like an A minus admiral level person can do. Um, so and then I have like my A's admiral level, which is like, the standard admiral level. And then to me, that's like Aokiji. He's like your standard admiral level character to where, like this is like what an admiral should be. Then you have like your A plus, which is to me was like Akainu because he outdid everybody else at Marineford, not only in like power and ability in my case, but he even strategically thinking where it's like remember that part where Kizaru went off and tried to take White Bed out by herself, and
Hmm.
Marco stopped that. Then Aokiji went and tried to do the same thing, kind of where he threw the ice block, then Jozu blocked it. Um, then Akain was just sitting on his chair and he's like, what's wrong with these fools leaving their posts? Who's going to protect the place? And then he had to like, so he was like the smartest one. And then he was the most powerfulest one because he's the only one. He's the only one who killed somebody, right? at Marineford out of all the other admirals. Um,
Well, I mean, he
so
killed a couple fodder people. I mean, he killed a bunch of fodder, but yeah, he had the
you
he had,
calling
he had the
so,
highest
so,
kill count. Yeah.
so you calling Ace's father then to you?
Well, I mean, like I'm not sure if you're referring to combat wise.
Yeah. Combat wise, like of course the father's gonna die. You know what I mean? But I mean, like he's the only admiral who killed the main character on screen.
So something I'm actually curious, Ty. I've actually never actually asked you this question before, but I feel like now that I have the time, I'll do it. So I think you're actually pretty aware of what people think about you in the community.
No, because that's different. Like it's no to me anyway. Like it's no
No?
just one thing. Like you'll see people be like, oh, he's in a stream. Like, well, why Brago has him in a stream, this, and this. But then at the same time, if I'm not in the stream, it'll be like, yo, where's Ty? Why Ty isn't in the stream? Or if I am in the stream, it'll be like, yo, Ty makes the stream great. So it's the same thing with King of Lightning stream. It's a whole bunch of different things. But like, it's people where they're like, that stream that y'all was in, the one that I was into, that what kind of stream was that we was all in?
Wait, which one was it? What? I don't even know what you're talking about.
The King of Lightning stream. Like I was in it, you was in it,
Oh,
Matt
was
was
it
in it.
the tier list stream?
Yeah,
That was like,
you know I got into that stream because the people in the comments was wild and like, yo, Ty, Ty, get in, Ty, get in, Ty, get in, Ty, get in, Ty, get in. So and then King Lightning, he let me in the stream because he seen it was a bunch of people like on Twitter, not Twitter, I mean on Twitch and even on YouTube, like, yo, Ty's over here, yo, get him in the stream, get him in the stream. And then they let me in the stream. So, you know, like, yeah, there's people who don't like me, who they make it clear or whatever the case is. And then I think there's some people that they just do that to do that. Cause I think like some people you might like you could say great video and the creator of the video won't even give you a response. But you could say, oh, why Ty's in the stream? And somebody might be like, yeah, why Ty's in the stream? And now you have a little fun or something like that. So I think people do it for that reason too. And then, you know, people like me. So that's why I get invited to some of the streams I get into. So it's a mix of everything. It's not just one thing, you know, so it's hard to, but I think overall though, way more people like me than the people who don't like me. Nobody with a name like who does stuff doesn't like me. You know what I mean? Like I don't have problems with any other content creators.
so you're kind of happy with where you are, or do you have like a goal?
Um. Let's see. Like I'm happy where it's at because it's OD. Like that would have never happened. That would have never happened before. Where like I got demanded to be in a King of Lightning stream, or like they have the Reverie and they're like, yo, like get tied into the Reverie and stuff like that, or like people like I appreciate all the love and the support and stuff like it expanded because before it was kind of like something where it's like, you know, I had a few people who like understood my thought process about how I break the chapters down and my power scaling and stuff, who will be like, you know, his points is kind of different, but he knows what he's talking about. He's not trolling, he's serious or whatever like that. And those were the people I connected with on my channel. But now it grew and it's bigger. And I actually see stuff now where like the points on videos, like if I like Brago had a video and he was like, it was his big mom could be the strongest Shanko video.
Mm-hmm.
And the best points on his comments that people made is old comments I made in the past. And they're saying it like just like what I said, like word for word. So it's like, yo, I'm not getting any credit, you know what I mean? But that's what I said. Like I know
Well, we
what I
gotta
said.
hit up Braga and get you that YouTube check.
Yeah, nah, but it's not Brago. It's the people in the
PDA
comments.
law, you're right.
They're like, okay, first, yeah, BDA law, my bad. He just reminds me of
Yeah,
Brago.
for some reason.
He was like, yo, like first Big Mom, because like this is stuff that I've been said. I'm like, yo, like when you compare Big Mom to Kaido, right? In terms of like who's better, in my opinion, anyway. Like I get it that Kaido can't die, right? You can get from that. But with Big Mom not taking any damage, you can't die if you can't take damage to die in the first place, correct, right?
Debatable, but yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so at the same time, they're pretty much matched right there in that category. And with Kaido, it's a big thing. Like it's probably his most highlighted thing. He cannot be killed. But with Big Mom, while she can be killed, she cannot take damage in the first place. That's what people said. That's kind of what we pretty much seen, unless she's nerfed. So if you can't do any damage to her, how she's dying. So this is pretty much two people with an equal ability, pretty much. And then besides that, it's still a little chance. What I was thinking about the other day is that, you know how people say, you know, when we got first introduced to Kaido and they're like, you know, he'd been in this many battles, he was captured this many times, he took this many L's, and they, you know, when they did that, he might have the worst record as a Yonko. What if Big Mom can't be killed either, right? But
Okay.
she just was never put into a situation for people to find that out or not. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if you could say that's to Big Mom's credit or not, because you could always just say that Kaido actually tried to fight people where Big Mom just didn't do anything.
Okay, you say that, but then it's like I don't know where you're going with that, because if you're
Well,
trying
I'm
to
just
say,
saying that I don't think there's any definitive proof to say one over the other in terms of like, Kaido actually fought people, but Big Mom didn't, so that means that Big Mom's not fighting her is better
okay,
portrayal.
so I wasn't talking about that. I'm just trying to say that, like, okay, like we have one person that the story tells us, kind of like for facts, as the story tells us, that this guy cannot be killed. It doesn't matter what you do, like the axes just break, or the
Mm-hmm.
guillotine, whatever. But then we have Big Mom, who all they're telling us is like, yo, she can't take damage. But what I'm trying to say is that, for all we know, what if Big Mom can't be killed either? But she just hasn't been put in those situations to tell. Is what I'm trying to say. That's what, I'm not talking about like
Well, I
who's
mean,
the
if you're gonna go to that point, Ty, you can use that same argument for everyone.
you can't, because so far, right?
Well, you can't because we never actually seen the other Yonko put in those situations to prove anything. We've seen more of Big Mom than we've seen of any other Yonko outside of Whitebeard.
All right, but even if you're gonna use the other Yonkos for an example, right? Like Blackbeard just became a Yonko, so he might not count. But if you wanna use, the same could apply for Shanks. Like because like what if they're it's still people saying, like, what if it's just Kaido's his hockey so hacked. You know what I mean? Or his devil fruit is awake. And I think they were saying his hockey. Like, what if his hockey is just so crazy that, like, he can't die or whatever. This all right. So for this type of ability, and I called this out too, where I was like, Luffy's gonna use Big Mom as practice to try and bridge the gap between him and Kaido. Because if he can damage Big Mom, if he can, whatever he can do to Big Mom with this new technique, it would be effective with Kaido, because they're on the same tier, they're on the same level. So, not dying at all is kind of extreme. But I think in terms of like how Luffy couldn't damage Kaido to pass through his scales,
Hmm.
it seems to be some type of a hockey related thing.
I agree.
Like he won't be able to damage Big Mom either. We've seen that because Big Mom just blocked and took him out of gear 4. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be able to damage Shanks either. Blackbeard is debatable because we don't know how strong he is yet.
Right.
So I think that they could probably say the same thing about Shanks, but it's like, yo, we never seen Shanks take damage. Just that's just not the way that the story showed us about Shanks, since he's always been on, like, friendly terms or fighting fodder. But with Big Mom, it's something where, like, it could be overlooked, and it's not like it's a bunch of people saying this stuff. Like, a lot of times when I say stuff, people try to, like, discredit it and shoot it down. But this is not like something everybody's saying. This is something that I just realized like a couple of days ago. Like, what if Big Mom is like Kaido, where she can't be killed either, just that she hasn't been put into that situation for us to know. Because other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, it's like Kaido can't take damage easy, neither can Big Mom. Or maybe Kaido can take damage, but Big Mom just doesn't take damage. Like, their powers is like very, very similar in that aspects. But if you try to say that, like, okay, Kaido, at least he goes out and fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know, but I think with Big Mom, she still has better portrayal, because I was talking about this the other day too. Big Mom said, "I'm gonna come to your territory to fight Luffy." Kaido said, "No, don't come." Right? Big Mom
Right.
is like, "Nah, we're gonna have to learn how to get along," and she goes there anyway. You know what I mean? So, and then she doesn't even take her whole crew. Like, something is up where, like, she must think
Well,
Kaido
she
is off.
wasn't able to take her whole crew, or
And,
at least at the very least, Ty, we don't actually know.
well, the way that the way it's just not smart. It's not smart to take her whole crew. But she went very minimal. If you get what I'm saying, like,
Well, I
she
mean,
pretty much
she
did.
brought everyone that wasn't hurt.
She went everyone else.
Katakuri, I mean, from what we know, I mean, Cracker was still, I mean, Cracker was out the entirety of Whole Cake Island. He's probably still out.
So
Katakuri was
Luffy
just
did him
recovering
bad,
from his
you trying to say.
injuries.
When One Piece time, like, like when we go from one arc to another, it don't be that much time, and Luffy gets his energy back. Like,
Yeah,
he
well,
never.
it's kind of hard, or I don't think it's as fair to compare Luffy's protagonist healing powers to other members in the story.
Okay, I get what you're saying though, but with Big Mom, so even, all right, look, but whether it was a good reason to leave the people who were hurt there or not, or the people who wasn't full health there or not, or whether she just needs people to, like, protect her mainland, to even have the confidence to go over there, is like you're taking Kaido lightly. It's like, and then that was even kind of highlighted in the chapter where King was like, what did you expect to do with one ship? You know what I mean? Like you came, like really, like Big Mom, like you came over here
Well,
with
then you
one.
can argue using that same logic, Ty, that that was Big Mom being stupid.
No, I don't think it was Big Mom
Well, I
being
mean,
stupid.
if it wasn't for the fact that, she wasn't allowed to die there, she would have died. I mean, if you
Yeah, but
threw any other
that's like
person to that situation normally with logic, if any Devil Fruit user got knocked into the ocean, they're dead.
yeah, but I don't agree with that because like that's like kind of like how when Jack was like they was like yo Jack, yo it's Goku there, yo it's Fuji there, yo
Well,
it's he's
Jack
like
got washed, but he was a fisherman, so he didn't die. If he
yeah,
wasn't a
but
fisherman, he would have died.
okay, but it's something that I
They didn't
respect
even
about
know
the
he was a
whole
fisherman, so they probably thought he was dead anyway.
yeah, but it's something about Jack where he's like I'm confident in my ability, just like we seen from Queen, where Queen is like um wasn't even paying Luffy no mind. Like it's like okay, like I know I'm good. Like I can take your cuffs off and put this neck brace around you because you're not like I'm in control of the situation. Like Jack was like, yo, do you know who I am? I don't care who's over there. And of course, like it's easy. It's like okay, of course he bit off more than he can chew, so he failed. You know what I mean? But a more like situation, but maybe like say like if it was just him versus Fuji, maybe he would have succeeded. But to bite off more than you can chew and be alive still, and to do damage like he did, like he still sunk some ships. That's impressive. And Big Mom, to me, it's like being bold, where it's like okay, like and we still don't know. We know they're all Yonkos. We don't really know how strong they are, and I think that the weakest ones will be defeated first. So I think Kaido is gonna be he's the weakest one since Whitebeard's dead now, and to like that's why he's being defeated first. But like by the time we get to Big Mom, since they keep pushing Big Mom to the future, by the time we get to Big Mom, she might have so many abilities and stuff like that
Well, it's
that she
hard to
might.
say, Ty. Like we talked about this before, and I'll kind of end it here. But with Big Mom's like the rock stuff being one, I don't really know if Big Mom will. My opinion, I don't know if Big Mom's going to survive past future arcs as an enemy at least. But
Because of the rock stuff.
well, no, because of Big Mom being here in Wano, there are so many things that could actually be resolved for Big Mom within Wano that it wouldn't be necessary to take her anywhere else. But we'll
Yeah,
find
true. But
out. But I kind of want to get back into like the main subject, or like the main reason we're trying to talk,
got it.
because you wanted to hook me up. We were going to talk about the famous. I feel like this has been a debate that people have had with you in like 8-person streams with lots of yelling for about 3 years now, and that is the strength of the admirals and the commanders when they're compared to each other, or just the strength of the admirals overall or the commanders overall. So I'm going to give you the floor, Ty, to go ahead and do your preaching. So why don't you go ahead and kick it off with us with your idea, what your belief is, and why you believe that.
Oh, okay. So I just call the stuff how I see it. Like I'm not rooting for anybody. You know what I mean? Like all the characters in One Piece can just die, and I would still read the story because like I'm pretty sure somebody will fill in the shoes and the story will continue. So I'm not like when some people power scale, they have favoritisms and they push that character. They make that character appear better than they are. Like I don't ever do that. Sometimes people think that I do that, and I don't do that. Like if like when I made the comments I made about Capone, it was because I seen he took hits from a Yonko Big Mom, and he's not even a Yonko, but he took hits and he survived those hits. So I'm like, yo, this guy must have hacked defense. It has nothing about me like a Capone. It's just that I'm noticing stuff. I mean, analytical and stuff like that. Some people are just like, they see characters like Law, he got the tats and stuff, and he's like, cutting people in half, and they're like, oh, that's cool, and they're focused on that, but they're like, not giving other people their props. So like when we first seen an Admiral like Aokiji, he was mad strong. You know what I mean? Like that was dope. So nobody's trying to take anything from him over there. When we see an Admiral again, but see, like the problem, I think the problem is that like people are understanding, like they don't understand what happened, and I think I understand what happened. And like to me, it reminds me of Naruto, where like, do you know about Naruto?
I know what Naruto was, Ty.
All right, so to me, like the admirals is like the Akatsuki. The Akatsuki are strong. Nobody can take that from them. The admirals are strong. Nobody can take that from them. But it was a difference in Naruto where like the Akatsuki, nobody could touch them. Remember when Itachi and Kisame came into the Leaf Village and they washed Kakashi like he was nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Even though he just washed Zabuza like Zabuza was nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like, dang, they did Kakashi like that. You know what I mean? Only Jiraiya could mess with them, and he was like a legendary signing. So I think that's kind of like the way that it is with the admirals. But even though Itachi and Kisame gave them so much trouble in Naruto, once it was Naruto Shippuden, you start seeing these Akatsuki members all start losing and hide their fights. And I think it's going to be the same with the admirals. And I think right now, where in like the Naruto, I mean not Naruto, where like in like the One Piece Shippuden part of One Piece. You know what I mean? Like if it was a copy of a Naruto, where like these admirals, they will be taken down if we fight them again. That's what I think. And I think people misunderstand. I think people think that the admirals were so broken before that they're still this broken right now, and I don't think that they're as broken right now. Because like on Dressrosa, when we met one, Luffy fought an admiral. The little, like, I get it, it wasn't a full fight, but Luffy did very good versus Fuji. Wouldn't you agree?
I actually don't agree.
All right, what about Luffy being like, I'm gonna do a right punch, I'm gonna do a left kick, and then him still doing it? He didn't even go gear fourth versus Fuji. Like to me, he did very good. You don't agree for some reason,
No, I don't
but he did
agree
very good.
because the context of the fight does not suggest that being good for me.
So what do you mean?
So what I mean by that, Ty, is, and I'm sure you've heard this countless times in reference to this argument with when it pertains to Fuji versus Luffy or Fuji versus Sabo, is that the fight was never taken in a serious context. Luffy was taking pity on Fujitora because he thought he was blind, because Luffy's a good person. Fujitora also was not taking Luffy serious because he was recognizing who Luffy was as a character. And it was also part of Fujitora's agenda the entire time to not get involved to the point where he would actually be the one to solve all of the issues. That was kind of the point. It's part of his agenda with the Shichibukai and why he hates them so much. Luffy pitying Fujitora is a testament to Luffy's character, but not his overall strength, because Fujitora wasn't really sweating any bullets.
Okay, so you say that and people say that, but I think y'all overestimate the part that the dude wasn't trying hard, because like it's parts of that fight, and the same thing with Katakuri, like it's parts of that fight where like he could have really, you know what I mean, like where it's like he wasn't going as easy as what you think. So for Luffy to even be taking pity on him and to even do that good in the first place is like, it's a big difference, because like, okay, with Aokiji, right? He wasn't able to take pity on Aokiji, even if he wanted to. That wasn't able to happen. He actually had to trick Aokiji and be like, "You fight me one on
And he
one," so he
still,
can
well,
lose
the
his
thing is
honor.
though, Aokiji was never going to kill Luffy to begin with, but he wanted to teach him a lesson.
Okay, but
Aokiji
see, that was a
destroyed
little
Luffy
bit.
regardless. Luffy couldn't do anything.
No. He just only, from what I recall, he just only didn't kill Luffy because of a favor to Garp. Other than that,
Because he owed Garp. If it wasn't for Garp, Luffy would have died there too.
yeah. But see, that fight to me, like, it's a difference, and you could even you like how Aokiji really was like being nicer to Luffy than what Fuji. I don't think Fuji was being like on that much. Maybe he didn't want to. I don't know. Like
Well,
it's
you made a
tricky.
comparison earlier, Ty, about how this is kind of similar to the Katakuri stuff, where he was being more serious than you think he is. But in the Katakuri fight and in the Fujitora fight, I think there are examples explaining the different. Like that does happen, but there are also examples of why none of that mattered, because we know at the beginning of the Katakuri versus Luffy fight that Katakuri was taunting Luffy by his inability to even do anything. And then whenever Katakuri did try, Luffy got completely roundhoused. Like he almost died multiple times and he had to leave before he would die.
Okay, but
And
what
with
does that mean?
Fujitora,
Wait. But what does that mean when at the end of the day, dude lost and he's still hurt? Yes, you're saying.
yes, but Ty, because we can, if you want, we can argue the context behind the Luffy versus Katakuri
No,
fight, but it was quite clear throughout almost
look,
the entirety of the fight that Luffy was
look.
nowhere near the level of
Wait.
Katakuri.
All right, but to me, that's the part of the fight that's not important.
Well, Ty,
The
if you're
part.
going to take away context for the sake of your
No,
argument,
no. I'm not. I'm just talking about the way that a fight goes, right? Okay, look. So, and to me, anyway, like, all right, like if you fight somebody, right? Like, say, all right, Katakuri fought Luffy thinking I'm better than you, right? So
and he
what is that
was.
called? He underestimated Luffy, right? So let's say Katakuri was to fight Marco, like, nah, I know who you are. You're Marco, and he's fighting him seriously or whatever from the start. So that's Katakuri's fault. Nobody told Katakuri to not take Luffy seriously, but at the same time, he was so much better than Luffy that even though he didn't take him seriously at first from the jump, he still had control of the fight for a long period of time. So like, and with Crockett, that's just the way that this is. Like a lot of anime and manga, people, they don't usually take the main character serious enough like that. So I don't think that that's a good thing to use to try to
Yep,
say that, like,
but the
oh,
reason I was saying that, Ty, is that there are examples in both those fights proving that the other person was definitely above the other person in combat, because we know that Fujitora was basically not using anything against Luffy the entire fight, but whenever he wanted to get serious, he had island level abilities that were going to destroy the entire place, but he chose not to do it. it was his conscious choice. And at the end of the fight, we see that Fujitora is actually quite the big fan of Luffy, where he wishes that he could actually see his face so that they could
Yeah, but that
talk.
doesn't mean that doesn't mean that he wasn't like trying to. All right, so like you know how Mihawk was like Shanks. I know you like Luffy or whatever like that, but I can't just let him go. Like if he either Luffy's gonna be the person to come across me and survive my attack, or his journey ends here. Like sorry Shanks, and then Luffy survived that encounter. Fuji was still doing some of that where it's like okay, like like I might
Yes, but
like
it's
you.
quite obvious, even if you're going to use the Mihawk fight, Ty, it's quite obvious and without a doubt that Mihawk wasn't trying.
All right, but the
Neither
Mihawk,
was Fuji.
the Mihawk, all right, look, the Mihawk thing is different. All right, look, the thing with Fuji is that Luffy wasn't trying either, and Luffy had a lot more he can do too. It's a bad one-sided thing where you're like, so what if Fuji wasn't doing his attack? Was Luffy going gear fourth? No, was
Luffy
Luffy
was
like
using named attacks. Luffy wasn't going gear fourth, Ty. I agree with you.
yeah?
But
So Luffy
saying
still had
that, but that's the entire
too.
point, Ty,
Was he
is
a
I don't think
one-sided
that
maybe
was an
though?
actual fight.
No. But I'm
You
saying
can't
you're
scale it when the opponents weren't taking each other seriously.
no. You can scale it. You might not can scale it to the extent that you could that you might want it to, but you can scale it to me. All right, look, two people holding back. Luffy did he did very good there compared to like how he did against Aokiji or how he did against Kizaru when they had to run. Like no, he stood his ground there
Well,
and
he
did
stood
great.
his well, as I said, Ty, the context is completely different. Against the Aokiji fight, Luffy and Aokiji both agreed to 1v1 each other. And Aokiji basically just let Luffy fight himself out. I mean, as we see at the aftermath
And
of the
Luffy didn't
fight,
do good in that fight.
yeah, well, Luffy lost. And as we see in the context of the Luffy versus Fujitora fight, Luffy starts fighting by taking pity on Fujitora for being blind. It wasn't an actual fight.
That's okay with me. He doesn't have to. He can take pity on people. Like Katakuri. The One Piece is like people's they're gonna take pity. They're gonna do whatever and stuff like that. But to me, so I think because of Fuji not going all out yesterday, that like y'all underrate what Luffy actually did and what he accomplished, what he was able to do there.
Well,
I seen a lot of growth, and I seen that he's Admiral level just to even survive that encounter the way that he did.
well,
And then
that's like saying that Luffy during Marineford was equal to Mihawk
it's
because
not
he
because
survived. But that's your
no,
exact logic. Because
no,
he
it's not. You're
survived, he
you're
did well.
you're
He was able to dodge
simplifying.
Mihawk's slashes at
No,
point
no, no, no.
blank. That makes him the world's strongest swordsman level.
No, you're trying to simplify my logic by saying that. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, look, the difference is that with Marineford, right? Luffy dodged Mihawk's attacks, but he wasn't doing anything else really. It's not like he was able to damage Mihawk. When him versus Fuji, he was dodging Fuji's attacks. He was fighting Fuji back. He was
But
like
he didn't damage him once.
you said he didn't damage Fuji
No,
once.
he didn't damage Fuji once. Fuji never got hurt. Ever.
Fuji would have got. All right, look, if the fight would have continued, right? Fuji was still like breathing heavy. He had sweat on him from that fight. Like Luffy did enough to where like I see you're trying to minimize what Luffy did in that fight. Like Luffy did enough, in my eyes anyway, that shows he's Admiral level at the least because he was able to do what he did in
Well,
that
Ty,
fight.
you're
If he's
putting up
not,
a very serious proposition. You are arguing that Luffy in base form is Admiral level. Because Luffy didn't go Gear 4th. We both agreed upon that. So you're saying that Luffy, without actually trying, is already Admiral level by default.
so it's all right. Look, it's this thing that like if I'm fighting Floyd Mayweather, right,
Mm-hmm.
and say he's not trying, right, I should still get knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm fighting this guy, right? And because it's not like Fuji wasn't trying. It's not like
Yes,
he
he
was like, yo,
wasn't.
I'm not even gonna hit you at all.
We know
Fuji
Fuji
was still
wasn't. With
doing
the
stuff back.
context of Dressrosa put into scale after the fact, we know now that Fuji wasn't trying. That was kind of his entire point of being there. Had he tried, he could have ended the entire arc by himself if he wanted to.
All right. So here's the thing. Like from what I see, people, I don't think that. All right, that thing that he did, right, this island level attack, but he picked up rubble. All the stuff Luffy deals with, all the stuff he takes, and all the stuff like that. Like to me, that rubble is just killing people.
But
That is not killing
once
any destruction.
again, the context. What was that attack supposed to be used for?
What, to destroy the ship?
To destroy the entire fleet. That was the purpose of the attack, and they admitted that they could not have done anything about it.
I don't
So
think that,
you're taking intent of the attack and applying it to thinking that Fujitora was going to use that against Luffy to try and kill him, but that was just to get rid of his escape if he needed to do it. It was a threat.
Yeah, okay, but people use that as if like, yo, he was gonna one shot the whole crew. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was gonna one shot all
It
of
would
the soldiers.
certainly have defeated most people on that island, Ty.
Not people like Luffy. Not
Well,
look, not
Luffy
it's
is
not
immune to
defeating.
blunt damage. Of course, he wouldn't
Right,
have
look, but
been beaten
it's not
by it.
defeating any of the people that I'm saying did good. Which is Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. It's not defeating them. Well, not really Sanji. I'm not really talking about Sanji, but you know, it wouldn't defeat Sanji either. But you know, Luffy, Zoro, and Sabo, they're the ones who fought Fuji. So like, cool, dude lifted the whole thing up. And to me, even with that, like his power is gravity. He can make stuff zero gravity. That's easy for him to do. It's not like he like with power did it. You know what I mean? So
Well,
I'm
and
not
the
really
same
impressed.
thing for you. If Luffy survives it, it's not impressive because his devil fruit makes him immune to the rocks. That's not impressive.
Okay, yeah, but it's like y'all hyping up an island level attack that's not knocking anybody
Because
out though. So
island level abilities are impressive by the fact that they cover so much and can do so much damage. There aren't that many people in the series that actually have island level abilities. The only people that we've actually seen have those abilities have been some of the strongest people in the series, like the Yonko and the Admirals. There haven't been many people outside of them that have had island level abilities.
yeah, well the thing is that like okay, look, like Ace's Entei, right?
Right.
That would have like did something. You know what I mean? Like this is not like Fuji's like I'm not impressed. This is not like Fuji did like a you know what I mean? Like and the meteors aren't even as good as Entei because it's still like, you know, like random scattered out damage, the same thing as those rocks, but it's not like something where it's like, you know, like an Entei or like Akainu's Magma Fist that went through Ace or something
Well, the
more.
difference between the asteroids and Entei is that Entei was Ace's final, like his final all going all in against Blackbeard, whereas Fuji can bring those down casually. So
Yeah,
what Ace can do in terms of size, Fuji does just casually because he can.
all right, but Ace's technique is still more dangerous than like those meteors. So pretty much like as I'm saying, all right, look, like if those meteors like his the most damage those meteors did was like against his own crew. Like, oh yo, chill, Fuji, tell us when you do that. Like, it's not like I didn't see those meteors hurt Sabo. I didn't see them hurt Luffy. I didn't see them hurt Zoro. I didn't see them hurt anybody. So it's like those meteors is like, you know, like a underwhelming attack.
But
You know
right,
what I mean?
that's
Like
like saying that if you're going to apply, are you going to apply the meteor across the board for Fujitora not being impressive? Because if
yeah,
you're going to do that, Ty, then you can say if Luffy Gomu no pistol someone and it doesn't defeat them, then that makes Luffy unimpressive. Like when whenever Luffy tried to attack Queen in the Udon prison, he used a regular attack. If Luffy wasn't able to do anything with that attack, that means Luffy by nature couldn't have done anything, which we know isn't the case because he
no,
has Gear Fourth and these other abilities.
no, but what I'm saying is that attack that Luffy did that was not impressive. Like that, his meteors like is just not impressive to me.
So
You know
you
what I mean?
think bringing down meteors from space
It sounds
casually is not an impressive thing to do?
so. Listen. Madara did it in Naruto. Like it sounds
And
cool.
yeah, but in Madara Tai, and you know this, that was like holy shit.
No, but listen. Naruto is different than One Piece. So look, I agree with you with that. But like
We
in
haven't seen
Naruto,
asteroids come down from the sky
listen,
before.
in Naruto, you right. It's like, oh, it's like yo, he's gonna end the world. You know what I mean? Like it's OD. You know what I mean? Like but it is a little bit different. I think like what Madara did, he brought down a kind of meteor that was almost like the meteor that like the Big Bang type of meteor. You know what I mean? Maybe not that big, but that Madara did something like that where it's like, oh snap, like he about to. But with Fuji though, he's bringing down like I'm not trying to play his attack, so I'm not gonna try to play his attack. But it's like he's bringing down like ping pong meteor balls. You know what I mean? Like that's playing his attack, but he's you know what I mean. Like the intensity of his meteors, it's not on no Madara level. You know what I mean? Where like
Well,
it's like
I'm not going to get into the semantics of the size of the meteors because
yeah.
I don't have a reference point for how big they would
But that goes
actually
into the
be.
damage is
But
all
the
that I'm trying
point
to
I'm
say.
making there, Ty, is that just like it's a good indication of what people are capable of doing, if Fuji is
Yeah.
capable of doing this without breaking a sweat, then imagine what he can do if he was taking the fight seriously.
Okay, so then my problem with it is that and I had the same problem with it with Garp until recently, you know what I mean? When it was like Garp took out the Rocks captain who was supposed to be, you know, very strong. But it's like
Right.
um I don't want to hear Garp was so good, but then we don't see him do anything that's good. You know what I mean? Because that could be something where like, you know, maybe he used to be that good back in the day and he's not that good now. So it's still that little factor around with like, okay, even though he did what he did with the Rocks, maybe he's not that good right now. But with like I'm not gonna give him that pass to be like, okay, your island level attack. Wow. So that means you must have a good a good, focused attack, because that might not necessarily mean that. What if he specializes in long distant combat or like long range combat, and not really
Well,
like
you can make these suppositions, Ty, but there's no evidence to say that. It's like you're
It
playing
works in
like
reverse.
devil's advocate. It's like, well, what if he actually
It works,
sucks?
because look, it works in reverse. That like, just like if you want to claim that it's no evidence to say that he's that type of a fighter, of like he has these distance he attacks, right? It's no evidence to say that dude has a hacks close range attack like Entei, if you know what I mean, like something like that, because it's not. So we're still speculation, and so
Well, even if he was a ranged fighter, Ty, why would that be anything of knock against him?
because, like, all right, look, what I'm trying to say is that, like, all right, so like you just said, like, Madara brings down the meters. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? Fuji brings out the meteors. It's like, hey, tell us when you're gonna do that. You almost hit us. You know what I mean? Like it's a totally different thing. You know what I mean? Like his
Different
meteors.
context, different scope, Ty.
All right, but his meteors are a joke compared to Madara's meteors. But look, let's stick it back to One Piece, right?
Okay.
His meteors is just not doing the damage. You know what I mean? Like it's like what is his meteors doing? Like, okay, look, like at least with Aokiji, right? We seen him make a sword out of ice. You know what I mean? Like we seen Kizaru make a sword out of ice. You know what I mean? Like that stuff is probably more impressive to me because it shows technique. Like it's not just like to me like the meteor thing is like Gear Fourth kind of. Like I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with Gear Fourth that much. You know what I mean? To be honest about it.
You're not
and I
impressed with Gear Fourth, but that's like the
no,
kind of thing you're using to defend Luffy against Fuji. It's like
no,
Luffy wasn't using Gear 4.
Listen, I'm not impressed with Gear 4 because it uses too much hockey. That's just a fact. But it's still something that he knocked Doflamingo across the screen with it. It can still do damage to like characters like top tier characters. So it's still something in his technique. Like it's Gear 4th is like a what's that movie Vegeta has when he says goodbye to everybody and he blows himself up?
I don't know. I haven't watched.
I think it's called like nah. I forget what the move is called, but Vegeta has a self-destruct move where he blows himself up and it takes a lot of damage and it kind of kills him. So Luffy Gear Fourth like a desperate measure technique. It's not as bad as that, but it's something that he uses that makes him stronger, but at a cost because then he runs out of hockey. It's kind of like opening the gates where like you become mad strong, but then you die or you become very weak after. So I'm not impressed with it because of that, is what I'm saying. But yeah, it's a strong technique. But it's still like like all right, I'm so desperate, I'm gonna use all my power in one shot. It's like I'm so desperate, I'm gonna spam meteors all at once.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like
it's not really desperation if you can just do it at will, Ty. If Luffy could go into Gear Fourth consecutively without facing any penalty, then Gear Fourth would be more formidable than it is. But
yeah.
the difference between Gear 4 and the meteorites is that that's just a basic ability for Fujitora.
Okay, so the problem though is that I'm not seeing the damage from these meteor Drizzt. So it's like I'm not impressed about something you can casually do that. All right, look, so pretty much like this. Like this is almost what it's like. It's not as bad as this, but it's like Capone can casually shoot bullets, right?
Yeah, he has a gun.
But even this Drizzt, come on, like we seen. I don't know. All right, at this point because it's been a while. I don't know. I think it was Gotti who killed Bobbins. Or, I mean, who killed Bobbins?
I don't know if there's actual evidence to say who killed who.
Yeah. I know he's not dead, but I mean,
there were 3 of them shooting. So
all right. Look, but still. So to me, the 3 of those people shooting Bobbins and knocking out Bobbins, right, is more impressive than Fuji meteors based off what I've seen. I'm not talking about
okay,
like,
so
like logically.
Explain why is shooting a basic pistol more impressive than bringing down meteors from?
Because look, these basic pistols, right? And listen, I'm not trying to say like, of course his meteors is more deadly than Capone pistol. But what I'm trying to say is like the damage that we're seeing in the manga from the panels. We see these 3 people shoot Bobbin, he's KO'd. You know what I mean? He's knocked out. We never seen him again. Fuji brings down these meteors. You know what I mean? But people aren't knocked out from it. You know what I mean?
The
it's like,
difference
it's like,
there, Ty, is once again context. Like if Fuji, like it's like saying Bobbin didn't know they were even there. They shot him by surprise. If Fuji surprise meteored like Doflamingo in the back of his skull, it would hurt Doflamingo and like destroy the entire place that he's on.
But Drizzt, the meteors happen so slow. You know what I mean? When it's like Bobbin would have been like, he would have seen the meteors. He would have like.
And bullets in One Piece are really slow. They don't do anything. So what's your point?
I think the meteors would have petrified. And this is the thing. Like this is for real. Like I think the meteors. I think they would have petrified Bobbin. Like oh snap! Well, like what is this? He would have ran. I don't think
if Bobbin got hit by a meteorite by surprise, he's like oh shit, a meteorite, but a bullet. a bullet is like that's
No,
oh shit, dude.
no, Drizzt, look. See, the thing about the bullets is that they was quick and to the point. They shot him and he was out. But I think like, I don't even see the meteor hitting Bobbins. To be honest, I think
Okay,
the meteor.
why are you putting respect on Bob? Are you for real?
Yeah, because look, who did ever look? So who did we see these meteors hit? Drizzt, this is what I'm trying to say. Like did the meteor hit Zoro? Did it hit Law? Did it hit did the
There
meteor
wasn't
hit
a meteor
anybody?
used against Zoro, and Log uses Delphi ability to cut the meteorite in half.
So this is another issue. This is because like, I'm paying attention to a lot of stuff. So I think probably what I'm focusing on that I didn't mention is that the accuracy of these meteors. You know what I mean? And then dude doesn't even have control over it himself. He said. So that's the problem with like, okay, if it hits you, just I'm not gonna lie. Okay, immediate like if little bullets hit Bobbin and killed them, I think a meteor hitting Bobbin, I think that might kill him. You know
That
what I mean?
kills
Not kill him.
Bobbin and it destroys the top, like the part of the town.
All right, look. So I think that it knocks Bobbin out, but I think that it's
It
so
knocks him
slow.
out.
Yeah, the meteor.
Okay.
I think it knocks him out, but I think it's so slow that Bobbin, just like everybody else, like if Fada can see, like, come on, who do you think is stronger? Just do you think Fujitora Fada men is stronger, or you think Bobbin's stronger?
That's a tough question, Ty.
I don't think it's a. I
What
don't
have
think
we
it's such
seen Bobbin
a
do?
question. We know that he's just like he has a devil fruit. He runs around and I think you fall asleep. Like
Yeah,
none
and
of his
he has a devil fruit, and he was like talking shit, Ty, and he just got hit by a bullet and died.
All right, look, he still has a devil fruit that can put people to sleep. So he can pretty much run past all of those people.
What's he
that
gonna put the meteorite to sleep?
No. Listen, but I mean, he can put all of Fuji soldiers to sleep. It seems like you trying to avoid my question, so you don't want to just answer.
Bobbin is stronger than fodder, but that by itself is not a compliment.
Look, he's stronger than fodder. So look, but like if the fodder can be like, oh snap, a meteor's coming, let's run. You know what I mean? Fuji didn't bother to warn us about it. You know what I mean? And they can get out the way of it, right? And we see the people that Fuji uses it on, they can get out of the way. They can get out of the way of the meteor too. And I don't see why Bobbin can't get out of the way of the meteor and be like, oh snap, there's a meteor. So it's just
okay,
like,
I'm not arguing that if Bobbin had a heads up and saw a meteorite, he wouldn't be able to. Well, it depends. Law wasn't able to escape. Now there was Dofi whenever they were fighting each other. So I mean, you could use that. But even if that's the case, the argument I was making is that he got hit by something he didn't know was coming. If Fujitora hit someone strong with something they didn't know was coming, they are also suffering the same thing, if not worse. What happened?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the accuracy of the meteors. To me, like
I mean, he's able to pinpoint the meteorites from space to where he's at on the Earth.
Yeah, but I mean, so then maybe not. All right, so I mean, as far as like a successful attack, like I've seen too many people dodge these meteors. Is what I'm trying to say. Like to where it's like I'm not really impressed by the meteor. To where it's like because people, it's not knocking anybody out. Like it's not like at least the bullets from Capone knocked somebody out. Like these meteors aren't knocking anybody out. You know what I mean? Like Akainu Magma Fist is knocking people out. Like I'm not seeing Fuji this technique that people are so hyper. I'm not
by principle, Ty. If you replace Fuji's meteorites with Akainu's Magma Fist and Marineford, they're doing virtually the same thing. Because it's not like the Magma Fists were so fast that people couldn't avoid them, but he rained them over the entire battlefield. That's why it hit people.
Yeah. But that didn't.
And it didn't hit anyone that was named either.
But it still hit people, and it was still.
The reason why that's impressive, Ty, is the scale and magnitude of the attack.
But that we actually seen the damage. Whether I can't remember if he knocked people out when it hit them, or if he just damaged them a lot when it hit them. But that is like okay, that's impressive. You know what I mean? So
the difference between that, Ty, is that Fuji wasn't trying to hurt fodder. Like as we said, with Akainu's Magma Fist, we never saw them raining from the sky and actually making contact with someone. Like that was named. Like it didn't hit Luffy. Luffy ran away from one.
His Magma Fist is still way more intimidating, and still, like, to me, is just more impressive than what Fuji does, than what Fuji does with his meteors.
But by principle, they're very similar attacks.
Yeah, similar, but not exactly. See, I think when stuff is similar, people are too quick to be like, okay, it's the same. You know what I mean? Just like people are too quick to say all the admirals are equal in strength. It's like, no, like if you pay attention, this stuff is not the same. You know what I mean?
Well, I agree they're not the same in strength, but they are similarly scaled attacks. The only difference is that Akainu was able to replicate it on a grander scale because he was at war. As I said before, Fuji was never at war within Dressrosa.
Well, like still from what I seen from him, and like I get what happened. You know what I mean? Like I understand like the stuff that happened, but from when I seen like Luffy did good versus him. You know what I mean? Like he did very good versus him. Even Zoro did good versus him, to where Fuji was like what? Like yo, like get back. You know what I mean? Like but then I got cut short because Dofi interfered. Sabo did very good versus him. And to me, that ended in a tie. And at the same time, it's not like Sabo was like Fuji, please don't hurt Luffy, or Fuji, please. Like they both agreed, like, like, let's stop this. And we just recently found out that, how Sabo was doing his hockey in the Coliseum,
Mm-hmm.
and he destroyed it from the inside out. Like that was that level 3 hockey that Luffy just about to
Yeah,
learn.
I
So
agree.
Sabo is a lot stronger than what people first
I
thought.
agree
So
with that. I agree with that. Sabo
yeah.
is much stronger than people think he is.
So, but still, people think, or maybe their opinions change now after knowing that. But people think it's this thing where they just want to give it to the Admiral. They don't want to consider the other people's abilities. They just
Well,
want to be
if you
like,
well, the thing there, Ty, is that if you think Ty is so strong, that's not necessarily a detriment to Fuji. I mean, they're both strong people.
no. What I'm trying to say is that, like, I seen a tie in
And
that
even
fight.
then, in the manga, Sabo was sweating and Fuji wasn't.
To me, they both were sweating from they both was exhausted from that fight.
Well, if Fuji was exhausted, then if Fuji's exhausted after the Sabo fight, he can catch up to Luffy and then casually do island level attacks.
No, like by that time he got his energy back. I'm not saying he exhausted to that point, because they fight didn't go to that extent. But I seen a tie. And but it's the bias though is that it's not a tie. Fuji was taking it easy on Sabo, but the whole time Sabo was very aware of what happened. Sabo was like, hold on, like after a while, Sabo was like, yo, like, what are you trying to pull? Like, I know admirals are stronger than this. And then Fuji's like, oh, you caught me or whatever like that. And then they actually fight serious for a bit while it's off screen. And then when we come back
Well,
to it, that's when we come
Ty,
back.
you're making a supposition there. We don't actually know what happened. If you could conclude that they were going hardcore off screen, there's nothing to back that up.
All right, so when Sabo makes that statement and he's like, and then Fuji's like, oh, like, like, you caught on, the fight starts getting more serious right there, and
But
then
we
they
don't
start
know
doing it.
anything that happened after. It could be that they just kept doing the same thing because if anything, that would fit with what we know from Fujitora. This entire point within Dressrosa is that he wasn't actually trying. It wasn't. It was never his objective.
All right, but the thing is though that unlike with Luffy and unlike with Zoro, Sabo pretty much called him. He's like, yo, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, he's like, okay, I know admirals are stronger than this. So then he's
Yeah.
like, oh,
So Sabo, we both agreed, is very strong, and even against Sabo, Fujitora wasn't taking him seriously.
no, but at the same time, wait. See, but I think you don't. I don't think you or people take everything into consideration, right? Because it's not like, see, y'all just assume Sabo's like, I gotta win this. Like, that's not what Sabo was like. Sabo was like, he was not taking them serious either. And that's why I don't really like. That's why I don't really
I
like
don't
what
think
you said
Sabo
about
was going like hardcore. But the entire point was just to create a distraction.
No, look. But what I'm saying is that the way that fights is like Sabo just fought him, and it's like after a while, Sabo noticed like, okay, this guy should be strong. What's happening? And because it's like Sabo didn't go all out, neither was Fuji going all out, and Sabo was like, like, I'm not gonna. Sabo, he didn't want to go all out because Fuji wasn't going all out. So it's like it was a tricky situation, but that's the way that it is. So it's like neither one of them was serious. But so you can't put more respect on Fuji not taking it serious when
Well, then
Sabo
you
was.
can't put more respect on Sabo taking it seriously.
No, look, my thing about the fight, what I keep saying is that I'm like, I seen a draw. That's what I said. I seen a draw. But people are like, no, it wasn't a draw. Sabo would have lost, or like Fuji won that. When it's like, no, we seen a draw. And then knowing what we know now, with Sabo has that level 3 hockey, it definitely was a draw. And Sabo, I'm not saying like, oh, like I think Sabo could beat him, or that Fuji. I seen a tie. You know what I mean? But it's like, that Sabo's on Admiral level. He tied with Fuji. He was not at Fuji's mercy. You know what I mean? And Fuji wasn't at his mercy. You know what I mean? It was a draw. They both agreed, like, okay, let's not do this. It's not work. When actually what they said, I believe Fuji said something like, one of us is gonna die if we do this, and I'm not trying to die over this or something like that. That's
I
what
don't
Fuji said,
know.
something like
You'd have
that.
to go fact check that, Ty.
Oh, no. Remember Fuji was saying like, he's like, it's like a gamble or something like that, and even that, like, and it's good because Fuji wasn't trying to say like, I know I'm gonna win this if we keep fighting. So Fuji was kind of like, this fight is, if we continue, like, us being as strong as we are, you know what I mean? Like they kind of had a low key mutual respect for each other, better than even Luffy and Katakuri had, where like they noticed how strong each other was, and they noticed that Fuji's not a bad guy at the end of the day, neither is Sabo, and it was like, it's like, what, let's not do this, you know what I mean? And they stopped, but they were very similar in power. So that's one situation where people overrate the admirals and they underrate the other person. And another thing too is that if we talk about like Marco versus Kizaru, right? That's another fight where Marco got the slight better of the fight. but people would just be like, "Oh, Kizaru won that," or they'd be like, "Oh, well, he wasn't being serious. If he was being serious, that wouldn't happen." And I don't see that at all. Like, it's no like you be so quick to be like, "Oh, it's no context in the story to say that," or "Oh, it's no proof." Like, it's no proof to say that like Kizaru would have won that fight. Like, if you know what I mean. So it's like it works both ways, but for some reason, people they just keep hyping up the admirals and they keep it's like put it like this: every person an admiral ever fought, right, got downplayed. So Marco fights Kizaru and does slightly better. He gets downplayed. Sabo fights Fuji and ties. It gets downplayed. What else gets downplayed? Ace little clash with Aokiji gets downplayed. You know what I mean? So it's almost like they're not as strong as what people make them seem like, but the bias is so strong. Like I think the bias for the admirals is stronger than the admirals. You know what I mean? Like the bias of it is so strong. And I think that, I've always been saying that like soon, it's only a matter of time before an admiral stands in the Straw Hat's way. Like, y'all gotta stop right now. We're taking you into Marine headquarters. And they beat the admiral, and then people's gonna see what I was talking about. Where it's like, they weren't as strong as
Well, I
what
mean, that's not necessarily the case. It depends on when that happens. It's like if it happens at the end of the series, then it's like the shots are already super strong.
Oh, okay, but even that though, I get what you're saying, but and that's another thing too. Y'all have a lot of faith that the admirals are like the end game characters. Like, I don't think that's what it is. You know what I mean? So I think that this is definitely that's not going to be no end of the series, Drizzt. If it even happens at the end of the series, then it just doesn't even matter because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like they're going to be like, all right. So the way that I see it, right? You see how at Whole Cake Island we fought Katakuri,
Right?
at Just Rosa we fought Dofi. So I get it
Mm-hmm.
that Katakuri is stronger than Dofi, and then we fought Cracker. So I feel like we could have fought Fuji at the end of Whole Cake Island. It's just the way that the story was. We ended up fighting Katakuri, and to me, Katakuri is Admiral level. He's Big Mom's right hand man. Marco was on Admiral level. Ben Beckman. I don't see why Katakuri wouldn't be. Dude has future sight. So it's like we and then even that. So it's like Luffy. It's like when people think Luffy couldn't win, Katakuri's amazing. He's right hand man. He's Admiral level. But as soon as Luffy wins, and it's like, oh nah, he's on Admiral level. So it's like people kind of up Admiral level to the point where Katakuri's not even Admiral level anymore in their eyes, and be like, no, this guy's on Admiral level. Admiral level is better than this because
Well, I
like,
can't name many people that actually thought Katakuri was admiral level. There was a small minority of people that believe that.
all right, but even if people no, because the dude lost. That's why they want to keep their
No,
hopes
this was
alive.
during the I was there week to week for like the play by play. There were very few people, and the only people that did believe that because they watched King of Lightning's Kizaru versus Katakuri power scaling debate video. But it was a very very small section of the community that believed that Katakuri was admiral level.
It's more facts in the story though. It's more like evidence in the story though to like the facts is more in favor of him
And the
being
only
Admiral level
reason
than it is.
people downgrade the Luffy thing is because we know from the context of the fight that Katakuri was much stronger for like the entirety of the fight, except for
But the
the
thing
end.
is though that like y'all focus on the wrong parts of the fight anyway for power scaling anyway, in my opinion, because it's like, all right, at the point the beginning stuff where he's like flexing on Luffy, whatever he want to flex on Luffy, whatever, like he's that good enough to do that. Then the other thing too is that like this is just the way that animes is. It's like what's his name, like Kizaru, like when Kizaru attacked Whitebeard, right? He does his attack. Marco could have blocked it. Marco didn't block it. Marco just took the damage, got lit up, used his
That's
ability.
because it worked with his devil fruit.
No, but listen. All right, you're all right. Look, so what I'm trying to say though is that Oda said that Marco can't do that forever. Like, it's a limit to that. Is what I'm trying to say. So he
He
could have
never
went.
actually said there was a limit. I think he actually said it was limitless.
No. It was like in one of like a question. Somebody.
Yeah, I know. It's the
Somebody,
SPS. I think Oda didn't actually say there
no,
was a limit to it.
he did.
Let me go ahead and look that up, actually. Keep talking.
Okay. All right.
I'll go ahead and look that up.
So I remember that is that Oda said, like, it's a limit to it. He can't just recover forever. That would be broken. How is he ever supposed to lose if he could just keep recovering forever? But what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you're trying to get the win, right? Like, you want to be as conservative as possible. Marco could have went there. He could have blocked Kizaru's attack, and he could have reduced a lot of the damage. But Marco was so confident in his abilities. He was so cocky. He let himself lit up, and then he used his ability to heal because he was confident in his ability. So Marco wasn't taking Kizaru seriously to the start, because if he was taking him seriously, and if it was like, yo, I gotta win this is like, my life is in danger, or whatever the case is, he would have fought more effectively. So it's gonna be times that people fight like that's just the way it is. If they feel like they have, and to me, Marco was right to do that because I seen Marco had just had way better abilities and stuff like that, and he did have the edge over the fight where like it was in Marco's favor to like do that, to take the damage like that because he could heal. It was in Katakuri's favor to like mess around with Luffy like that because he was stronger. But my problem with Katakuri is that like Luffy improved, Luffy got better, but the point where like Luffy goes, can I go Gear 4th? No. Okay, the point with Katakuri is like, is this it, Luffy? This is all you got? Because it got to a point where like he wasn't respecting Luffy. Then it got to a point where it's like, hey, he respected Luffy and he was enjoying the fight. And that's why I think people see the fight wrong. Because to me, what the fight was that like at first Katakuri doesn't respect Luffy. Then it's like Katakuri starts respecting Luffy, and then it's like Katakuri is enjoying the fight. Remember when they do King Haki and they knock the people out who's talking trash?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, y'all shut up. Y'all don't. Luffy's a man or whatever the case is. I'm fighting him one-on-one. Y'all are annoying, whatever like that. He was enjoying the fight. They're fighting. They're going at it. You know what I mean? And then Luffy just runs out of steam or whatever like that. And Katakuri is like, he's a monster. He can still fight. And he's like, yo, this is it, Luffy. Like, this is all you got. And Luffy's like, all right, look, if you can in this current state, this is all I have. If you let me go Gear 4th, I can still fight. You know what I mean? So Katakuri is like, okay, cool, whatever. You can go Gear 4th. So when Luffy goes, see, and this is the thing. If Katakuri was to defeat Luffy, yeah, he wins. But he let Luffy do it, right? Luffy goes Gear 4th. And to me, at that point, it's not like Katakuri was not trying to win. He was like going all out. It's just that like, yo, I still want to fight. You know what I mean? Like say like if Katakuri was jacked up on steroids, for example, right? It's like, yo, I want to fight still. This is all you got. Like, and Luffy's like, yo, if you let me transform, I can get stronger. So he lets Luffy transform, and now they're fighting. And now after he transformed, he legitimately loses. That's what I seen. You know what I mean? So I can't give him any respect to be like, he let Luffy win, because it's like at that point where because like as somebody who power scales, I don't really care about what Luffy how do you say this? Okay, like Luffy can it's tricky, but it's like, okay, like if Luffy can go Gear 4th, right? And once he goes Gear 4th, he's so strong he can high diff a win against Katakuri, right? At that point in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But Katakuri wouldn't let him do it, so he loses. I understand that, and I would have said that if that was the case. But for Luffy to have that, for that to be the case where like Luffy is like, yo, like if I could just go, if you could just let me power up, you know what I mean? I can give you a fight. You won't be disappointed. And then he lets Luffy power up, and then for them to continue from there on and have a serious fight, because that's what happened to me. To me, he wasn't pulling his punches. He just wanted the fight to continue because he's like, yo, like you're on my level. You know what I mean? But then Luffy ran out of steam, and then Luffy's like, I got to power up. So at that point, for him to lose, it's like Luffy's a stronger fighter to me, because it's like when the fight continued.
Well, Ty, I agree with your overall message. I think by the end of the fight, or more or less after the fight, maybe not by the end of the fight, I think Luffy was roughly near Katakuri's level at the end of the fight. But the context was that a lot of things had to go right for Luffy to get to that point in time. That's why people put asterisks next to the fight.
But the thing with that, though, this is just the case with One Piece, and it's interesting how things is gonna go moving forward, because it seems like in that fight, like I never denied that Luffy was better than Katakuri from the start of the fight. I always said that, and this is the way that I think about fights, is that like Luffy has tricks up his sleeves, you know what I mean, for these fights. Sometimes he doesn't, and he has to run, like with like when they fought Kizaru,
or when he fought Katakuri.
No.
He ran from Katakuri.
I think he had Snake Man up his sleeve. We just didn't know it was going to be Snake
Man. Well, there's no evidence to back that up.
It's no evidence to deny.
Right, yeah. So what's the point?
You got to stop with that, because it's like at this like.
No, it's a real thing. We don't actually know. Same with Tankman. We don't actually know if that's an actual thing.
But all right, look. What I'm trying to say though, it seems like when he was developing his training, like he made different things for different types of situations. So to me, I think if he would have made Tankman on the spot versus because see, the thing with Tankman, right? And part of it is that when we see Tankman, it wasn't just to me, right? I don't know yet, because I don't think did Luffy ever use Tankman again?
No.
All right, we got Tankman full version, as if there is another version of Tankman. That's not like that, but it's still Tankman. So that means that this is something he already has. And it's kind of like him telling us, like, hey, this is the full version of it. You know what I mean? So pretty much something that we'll probably never see again, that Tankman full version, but we will see Tankman again in the future. So to me, it seems like these are stuff he already has. Like he already had these techniques. Just that, like versus Dofi, it wouldn't have been any sense to do Snake Man, because Dofi didn't have the type of abilities and stuff like that. But So to me, that's what he had up his sleeve. So it's like versus Doflamingo because he was losing to Dofi at first too, but then he had Gear Fourth up his sleeve, and then he was kind of losing to Cracker too, but then he had Tankman up his sleeve. So then it's like he's kind of losing the category too. See, like when people see that fight, right, and they see Luffy losing, right, and they like he's weaker. I see like, okay, this is not the important part of the fight to focus on. Like it's stuff to focus on at like, okay, base level category stronger than Luffy, but this is not the most important part of the fight to focus on. So then when people see, but not everybody's that foolish to focus so much on that part of the fight. So it was some people being like, okay, oh, Luffy did Gear Fourth. This is it. He's Gear Fourth. Now, all right, now we're gonna see. We're gonna see how strong Luffy is versus Katakuri. So it was some people who did that, but then they see that Katakuri was stronger than Gear Fourth. So then people are like, okay, Luffy's not gonna win this. He just made a fool out of Gear Fourth pretty much. He just embarrassed Gear Fourth. But that's not how it works because it's like, okay, the reason why Gear Fourth got flexed on. It's kind of like a story kind of reason, and you like talking about the story a lot, but it's like since like versus Doflamingo, since Gear Second and Gear Third is not Luffy's ace up the hole, pretty much. It's not what's going to be Doflamingo. It's okay for Gear Second and Gear Third not to work with Doflamingo because he's going to use Gear Fourth to beat him. You know what I mean? So like with Cracker, like it's okay for Gear Fourth. It's okay for what worked on Dofi to not work on Cracker to beat him because he has something else that's going to beat Cracker, and that was Tankman. So like when he fights Katakuri, the same thing applies. Where it's like, okay, like it's okay for what worked on Dofi to not work against Katakuri here because he has something else, Snake Man, which is gonna help him beat this guy. So I think it's something like that. So I wasn't. So when Boundman didn't work, I wasn't like, okay, Luffy's not gonna win. I'm like, okay, wait.
Well, everyone in the community, Ty, this literally, I mean this. Everyone assumed Luffy had a third form of Gear Fourth. There wasn't a single person I knew who didn't think that Luffy didn't have a third form of Gear Fourth.
All right, look. So what I'm gonna say is that that's not true. Like it's easy when like
stuff. Well, I would say every single person in the YouTube community assumed Luffy had a third form. Like everyone I know assumed that to be the case. That's why everyone made theory videos about it.
Okay, look, but it was still people. All right, look. So whether all right, look. So even if they was to say that Luffy, all right, but they still thought Luffy wasn't gonna win, and I'm like, no, he's gonna win. So it's still a thing, but like they thought. I guess they thought like, okay.
I don't like another thing with like I don't know anyone that didn't think that Luffy wasn't going to win. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a tie, but I don't think many people thought Luffy was actually going to lose the fight because he's the main protagonist. He can't lose.
Nah, see, that's not true. Like
in that situation, it would have been impossible for Luffy to have lost.
No, but listen, we know that he can't just beat everybody because he couldn't beat Aokiji. He couldn't.
Yeah, but in the other situations, there was reason to believe that he would lose. In that context, there's no way for Luffy to have lost. Unless Katakuri takes pity on him and lets him go.
All right, but that's still what people said. Like, where they said, like, okay, like he still people was like, it was OD, and it wasn't hard to tell that people was like, yo, Luffy's gonna lose this, or it's gonna be a tie at best because he's not beating Katakuri. People was very vocal about that, and it's crazy how like he was so vocal about that. Like he's not beating. You know how many streams I had to be on and like and debate with people about like, yo, Luffy's gonna win and how he's gonna win and stuff like that because people were so against Luffy winning. And to me, this all stems from them perceiving him as Admiral level, and it's like, no, he cannot be the Admiral level character, and that's where the whole thing. And then it's like when he beats the Admiral level character, it's like, oh nah, that dude was an Admiral level. You know what I mean? So people said it. The community knows though. Like maybe from what you've seen, whatever. But I know we're mostly talking to the community because it's like a bunch of people. You're one person. People was like saying that Luffy wasn't gonna win. So the difference, what I'm trying to say is that people thought that form was going to be kind of cool. I'm like, no, this form is all right. And I get why they would think that because like if you see Boundman not working against Katakuri, you could possibly be like, okay, maybe his other form won't work. But I know that the forms have different specialties and stuff like that though. So I knew that the form was going to work, and Luffy beat Katakuri, but he beat him in a legit way too. The other thing too is that like the help came to help Katakuri. The help didn't even come to help Luffy. He fought a dude on his own, and the handicap was on Katakuri's side because his sister got involved and made Katakuri hit Luffy, something that he wasn't able to do by himself. So I think people downplay Luffy a lot.
I think people do downplay Luffy. I agree with that overall statement.
So, what we was talking about, like, it's more facts and stuff, or that's what I said. To me, like, it's more facts to say that Katakuri is Admiral level than it are to say that he's not. What do you think about that? Because I think that there is.
In my opinion, I don't think there is anything to support Katakuri being Admiral level. I think Katakuri could tussle with the Admirals, much like how I think every single first commander can tussle with Admirals. but from my perspective, I haven't seen anything to indicate that he's actually admiral level.
Okay, so
And
this
I actually, if you want to, it's up to you. I can go through the things that I've set up that are kind of focus my opinion on this matter, and we'll see how you combat them. Okay?
all right.
It's up
So
to
so
you. Just only if you're done. If you want to
okay.
make
Wait,
more
wait, wait.
points about the
Can you?
overall scale, you want to talk about Mark, you want to talk about Jack,
Okay,
go
got
ahead
it.
and make your points, and then I'll
Got it. Okay,
respond with my points.
got it. So what I want to say about this guy and you saying like he can tussle is like where does this come from? With they can tussle. This is what I mean. Like the bias is so high that it's like they can tussle with an admiral. It's like not that they can beat an admiral. So the thing is like okay, like when Marco right when no well all right look Rayleigh right a former right hand man of Goldie Rogers' crew. Somebody who was like he used to have Marco's position. He used to have Katakuri's position on Goldie Rogers' crew. He was not only was he old, but he was rusty. He said it because he was just chilling. He was a retired pirate. So a retired rusty of age pirate could fight Kizaru. And Kizaru could even say like, "Yo, we don't got the resources to take you in right now." And then he did the better of the fight. It's not like it was a crazy fight where it's like but he did get the. I think he got 2 hits and he landed, and Kizaru never hit him once, and he still did good. So it's like that wasn't to me. That's not a tussle. Dude was rusty and had the better of the situation. Then if we go to Marco, Marco had the better of the situation, and then they had to jump him with the vice admiral coming involved, and he had to be distracted because the white bait getting hurt for the handcuffs to be on him, for Kizaru to even start doing damage to Marco. And then Marco still he turned his back like man, Kizaru like and he chased and then Kizaru shot him a couple of times, I think like 3 times in the back before Marco fell. So it's like it's probably even more evidence to suggest that these admirals can tussle with the right hand man, not that the right hand men can tussle with the admirals. If you get what I'm trying to say, because like I keep seeing stuff where they're outclassing the admirals, but for whatever reason, people keep saying like, oh, they're not trying or whatever. When like Marco wasn't trying in the first place either. So it's like, but people they forget like Sabo wasn't trying. They forget the other people. They forget the other fighter. So to me, like if Rayleigh's on that level and he was old and rusty, and to me, I think that old rusty Rayleigh is weaker than current Marco. I think the Rayleigh we have now, where he's not rusty anymore because he's been training with Luffy and stuff like that, and he's been like swimming and all that stuff like that. I think now he's probably stronger slightly, but I think before that was even a weaker version of him, and he was able to stop Kizaru. So Marco had the better situation versus an Admiral. So this thing with it, with like they can only tussle, and then we seen King just knock the whole Big Mom ship away and talk trash like, yo, what are you gonna do with one ship? So I don't see why. And then we seen Ben Beckman come, and we seen Kizaru be like, yo, I know who you are, and he stopped, you know. And then we seen so when we see Katakuri, and it's like, yo, he can see into the future, something that none of these other people could do. It's hard to be like, okay, he can only touch with an admiral. When we seen people with kind of who they didn't have future sight get the better situation versus the admiral. So you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So what I can see, this is an admiral level person, especially considering that he had that level of observation hockey, and that's probably the thing that tips him to the admiral level that kind of like makes him, like he has future sight. But to me, he's an admiral level character. Like it's more evidence to say that he is than it's evidence to say that he's not in the story. And I like to go off of the story. I don't like to just like make guesses and just like wild randomly speculating guess stuff.
Is there anything else you want to go on?
No.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and it's going to be a little. I'll let you know whenever I'm done, okay? Because I'm going
Got
to
it.
read a little bit. I'll read you off all the things that I have, okay?
Okay.
I made a little list. There's just some bullet points. I'll just go over them. So here's where I fundamentally disagree because, for me, I'm a person who takes in, and I've gone over this in ad nauseum with King of Lightning. I value the portrayal of characters much more than I value single clashes. Although single clashes do matter, but I think the narrative of the story is a much more important thing to go off of. So whenever I
Yeah.
see the admirals versus commanders, there is no way for me to be able to say that any commander outside of one perhaps is admiral level, and I'll explain that as I go through. But the admirals were introduced as the strongest fighters for the navy, and all three of the original admirals, so Kizaru, Aokiji, and Akainu, they all have the de facto strongest devil fruit type in the series, Logia. And not only do they
Yes.
have that, they have complete mastery of that fruit, and they all appear to be masters of Haki. All of the admirals display the advanced armor Haki that Luffy is currently trying to learn now to hurt a Yonko. So they already have that ability. And arguably, most of them likely have future
That's
sight
the
as
one thing that
well.
they do have that happened recently is that they did have that level of armament, but with Katakuri, right? He has future sight, which is all right. So
Right,
like,
and let me continue for a second, okay, Ty?
got it.
Because I'll go over my points, and if you want me to repeat them, I will. But it kind of all builds a narrative for me. So,
Okay.
and granted, there's no fact for why this, but there is evidence to suggest that the admirals also have future sight as well,
Oh
which we
no,
can see evidence between Aokiji and
I agree.
Akainu with the Marineford. And
Yeah,
the
I get
admirals
what you're
for
saying.
this generation, they are the
Yeah.
successors for the previous generation of admirals, which consisted of Sengoku, Garp, Zephyr, and whatever Kong was. He was a fleet admiral at one point. We don't know what was going on before that. And a major component of One Piece is that the new generational talent surpasses the old generation of talent. Luffy will one day surpass Roger, Zoro will surpass Mihawk, the Yonko themselves will be overcome by Luffy. The previous generation of admirals clashed and fought on equal standing with Roger, a Pirate King, and Yonko level opponents. Garp and Sengoku both fought Roger, Whitebeard, and Shiki, who Oda stated all three of those people were on the same level.
But they 2v1 Shiki, right?
Yeah, and they didn't get hurt. It was like no skin off them bones. It's not like it took it to an
Oh, sure,
extreme. The fight lasted. I think the fight lasted like 6 hours at Marineford. Marineford got almost destroyed, but they still won. And we know from Roger's own word of mouth that him and Garp fought to near death numerous times. And the admirals, as it stands right now, are at the height or very near to their prime. They're all in their 50s. Why does the generational talent stop at the current admirals so that they are limited to being as weak as commanders? And do you want to answer that right away? I'll just respond.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. I'm not saying that they're limited. I think that see the tricky part about this is that, well, it's hard to say this, but it's almost like the commanders didn't exist in these past flashback fights because we only see like we don't hear any mention of Rarely. We don't hear any mention of like Shiki's right hand man being there. You know what I mean?
Well, we have mentions of Rayleigh. We know Rayleigh
No,
was
no, no, no,
heavily
no.
involved.
No. I mean, like you hear Garp and Roger brought each other to death many times. You don't hear like Rarely enter the conversation. Is what I mean.
Right.
And with Shiki, his right hand man guy wasn't there to back him up. With Katakuri, see, but for us to see Rarely have the better of a clash with Kizaru, that's showing you that like dude must have been on that level too back in the day. Because if not,
Well, I'll get to Rayleigh in a second because I think Rayleigh is actually kind of an outlier in this conversation as it
okay,
pertains.
got it.
So,
All right. But I want to make this because I want to bulletproof the skills that you said
sure.
you have.
So I just want to tackle
Yeah.
Kizaru for a second when we're going back into power scaling with the admirals.
Okay.
Kizaru, before Wano started, at the very start of it, Kizaru was completely comfortable with being sent alone to stop two Yonkos at once, Big Mom and Kaido. And let me continue. Let me continue. The only reason Akainu didn't send Kizaru was because of the samurai, not because of the Yonko. It was because of the samurai. If it hadn't been for the samurai, Kizaru would have been sent there, which now you can argue semantics. It's not like we would have known he could actually take down both of them, but that is good portrayal on his behalf. And we both agree, I think, that Akainu is Yonko level currently, right?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
both agree that Akainu has transcended sort of where that base
Yeah.
admiral level is.
But at Marineford, we seen it was a little something extra about him, where he was like going over beyond the other one. So it's not surprising he's
Right.
at that level.
And I agree with you. I'm an Akainu stan at heart. But the thing with that is Akainu, to get to that Yonko level status for 100%, he had to fight Aokiji to earn the title of Fleet Admiral. And it's been told through the Mother Carmel flashback that that title is synonymous with being Yonko level potential. So two people had the potential to be Yonko level. That's why Sengoku nominated Aokiji. And Akainu was nominated by the people.
Okay. So I don't think that works like that. That's what you're saying to me, right? You know how Luffy, like you can say now that Luffy's more on Katakuri's level after the fight because he won. He got that experience. He won the fight. But if he would have lost the fight, then it's like, okay, it's not the same thing. Like you get stronger and stuff like that. So it's like you still probably get stronger from having a hard fight and
Right, and we
losing.
know that after the fight, that whenever people were talking about the replacement for Big Mom, the person with a potential for doing that was Katakuri. Because Katakuri has potential to be there.
Well,
Maybe.
he's a right hand man. That's kind of like why wouldn't the first up the most important person besides Big Mom not take control over the crew. All right,
So
but
I just want. I'm still like I got plenty of things list
okay.
off for you,
Wait,
Ty.
wait, wait. See, but this what you're talking about. So what I'm trying to say is that to me, Akainu was A plus, right? Aokiji was A. They fought for however many days, right? The
10.
fight went, however, we don't know how the fight went, but at
10.
some point, his Aokiji's leg burnt off or whatever the case is, and then Akainu won. So with him beating for that hard, you know his hockey probably blew up too. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
because
I think I kind of got stronger. But the point being is that to get to that Yonko level of status that we both know he is, he had to go through a 10-day fight where at the end of it, even Whitebeard didn't do this to Akainu. Akainu came out with permanent scarring all over the right side of his body from fighting
yeah.
Aokiji for 10 days.
So listen,
Yonko couldn't do that to
listen,
Akainu.
I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a wash up like it was a one sided fight like Big Mom versus Queen. I'm just saying that Aokiji couldn't do enough to win, and then it's just not the same where dude lost a whole leg. Like you know what I mean? Like okay, it's good you gave him scars, because if not, it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. You know what I mean? But to me, like Aokiji, I mean Akainu winning that fight because it was still high diff. Like I'll say that's high diff. You got burns all over your body.
A 10-day fight is nothing short of an extreme diff fight, Ty.
That makes you all right to me. That makes you Yonko level when you beat Aokiji. And
yes, but so like here's actually my next point.
Aokiji losing to me is not Yonko.
Here's my next point.
Wait. That leaves Aokiji at a level close to like Marco and them, where it's like
No,
you're right.
it wouldn't, because in order to become that status of being Yonko level, it has to be greater than simply commanders that you fight.
I don't think that's the case, because if that was the case, why wasn't the Admirals destroying the commanders at Marineford?
I actually have a reason for why that's the case.
All right. So wait, so stop. So what I want to say is that you said that the Admirals, they have mastery over their devil fruits. I agree with you, right? But Marco showed mastery over his devil fruit, and then he's even healing people with it. So that's like mastery. Where you
Right, yeah, but the Logias are the strongest form of the devil fruits.
I don't even think so. I think that was like a trick thing, because like I think right now, not for nothing, I think mythic Zoans and ancient Zoans are looking more impressive than the Logia. Especially since you have it's like early game in the story when not everybody had hockey. You could flex on people with it, but it's like right now I think
Logias were so powerful, Ty, that Oda basically had to invent hockey to find a way to try and hurt them.
But what I'm trying to say is that at the beginning of One Piece, yeah, like a Logia, I'll take a Logia fruit of anything. But like right now, the way that things is right now, it's like you have hockey now and you can actually hit the Logias. They don't have that little specialty or whatever. I think a fruit like Marco's, or like a fruit like Kaidos, or like a fruit like even like Big Moms, or like even like a fruit like Fuji's might even be more impressive, because it's like at the end of the day, when you're fighting somebody who's worthy, they're gonna have hockey. So you don't have the ability to
right. Yes, and even with hockey, Logias are still ridiculous.
Yeah, because
the
they can
offensive capability and defensive capabilities of Logias is ridiculous.
I'm not saying that they're whack. I just see more. I just see more potential from like.
Well, you can see that, but from what we know so far in the story, they were labeled to be the strongest type of devil fruit.
See, all right, look, the tricky thing though, right, is that but we know the story is not all about devil fruit, because like Blackbeard has the strongest of two fruits so far. Right. He has the strongest Alicia and the strongest Logia. So if it was just about devil fruits, we would never be able to beat them. So it's cool that they have like they have no joke fruits, right? But still, so here's the thing, right? I think in the beginning of One Piece, it was this thing about the Logias are the strongest fruits. But I think right now it's just no joke devil fruits. Like Fuji, he has a no joke fruit. You know what I mean? Like Green Bull probably has a no joke devil fruit. You know what I mean? Katakuri. Yeah, like his devil fruit isn't like, I wouldn't say it's a no. He don't got a no joke devil fruit, but he has future sight, which is like no joke, and his devil fruit is still kind of could be counted as a Logia, which is like.
And all the Admirals have third tier armed hockey. They have future sight, and they have the strongest devil fruit.
Okay, all right. So stop. All right. So if we go to Katakuri, right, he has future sight. And I think his future sight from what I've seen, surpasses the Admiral future sight.
You've
Because they
seen
just
more of Katakuri. It's not a fair thing to say that over
no,
the Admirals.
we've seen a lot of the Admirals. I've actually seen more of the Admirals because we
We
encountered
have
them many
not
times.
seen more of the Admirals than we have seen of
We've
Katakuri.
seen Aokiji fight the Straw Hats. We've seen Kizaru and Sabata Odi. We've seen him again at Marineford. We've seen Fuji at Just Rosa. So it's like even this, like you're so quick to be like, no. We've seen more of
right, yeah. It's almost impossible to scale Katakuri's level of future sight to the Admirals because we've actually seen Katakuri in a full scale fight.
No, it's
We've
not.
never
Because look,
seen that
at
with
the
the
tea
Admirals.
party, at the tea party, right? Where it's not even a full scale fight. Katakuri's like, something is like, I can't even do nothing about this. Something is happening. I can't even do anything.
Yeah, and we've seen the full extent from future sight. Well, not the full extent, maybe. It's hard to say that because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But we've seen a lot of future sight mostly from Katakuri.
Yeah, no, look. But what I mean is that, like, it's not like he can only use it in an intense situation. Like, we've seen, like, when he.
Well, I never said he couldn't. I just said that out of all of the people with future sight that we think might have it, like a Kainu, Aokiji, the only one we've actually seen, like, in a detailed fight is Katakuri.
All right, what I'm trying to say is that his future sight is that much better. He spammed it all over the time, and we see more of it because that's his specialty. But I'm trying to say that, like, I'm not trying to take nothing from the Admiral, but I think the Admirals, they just happen to have future sight because that's probably like a requirement to be an Admiral. But Katakuri, he specialized. That was the main thing. That's what made him. That's what even Luffy said. He's like, yo, the thing about you is your future sight ability. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, remember when Katakuri first gets to Whole Cake Island, and he sees the future before he even goes into the door, or something like that. Like he was just always using his future sight, like the thing with the guy at the front gate or something like that, and he just shoots him, and he tells Capone like, yo, that guy was gonna kill you or something like that. That guy was gonna shoot you, whatever. So I just took him out. He's using the future sight because his future sight is that much better. To me, like he has future sight to that extent where like it doesn't matter what's happening. If something's gonna happen in the future, he sees it. I think the Admiral showed that they have the type of future sight where it's like, okay, if somebody's going to attack you, you can see into the future enough for that to like move your body out the way to not get the hit. You know what I mean? We've seen Katakuri do that because
I mean that may be the case, Ty, but I would say that it's actually kind of hard to prove that because we know the difference between the level of detail that Hockey has received over the course of the series.
I don't think it's hard to prove that. I think that's your biasness talking about the situation.
Well, no, look, I'm not saying it couldn't be true, Ty, but I don't think there's actually enough evidence to prove that to be the case.
All right, look. If Katakuri did it so casually about everything, like he was doing future sight about every single situation, pretty much that happened, Katakuri used future sight about it, right? So now when we seen Aokiji versus the Straw Hats in the first encounter, right? No future sight was being used that we can tell.
They didn't have Hockey.
No, but still though, no future sight was being used. I don't really care if they had Hockey or not. I'm just talking about.
It matters because without Hockey, he knew they wouldn't be able to hurt him.
Because we have more than one example to go over. But I'm just talking about is like, okay, look, Aokiji fights the Straw Hats. No future sight being used. Yes or no question? No. Kizaru, I didn't see him using future sight there.
What's that?
I didn't see him using future sight. That's about it. And what I mean too is that, like, not only in the fight, and I mean like how Katakuri was able to just like say what was going to happen next. Like I didn't see.
Well, Ty, here's the thing I have with that argument, right? So, I mean, your end conclusion could be correct, right?
Yes.
But with your same argument, Ty, I could argue that the Admirals do not have hardening Hockey because they never used it. But we know for a fact that they have it.
No, it's not the same thing. It's ridiculous. It's like it's
something because at that point in time, hardening Hockey wasn't a completed concept. It's only until now that it's being refined. The same with future sight.
All right. That's all right. I'm smarter than that. Like that, like we know that Hockey was being used all at Marineford. We know it was being used.
Yes, but the details of it were not the same as they are now.
So then for
the
all
foundation
we know,
was set.
Hey, look, so to me, like the most logical thing, like the thing that makes the most sense that the story supports is that at Marineford, it was people using Hockey, and it was some people was using hardening, and some people wasn't. We just couldn't see it. So if you're gonna say like you can't, it's just weak.
Yes, right, but Ty, we couldn't see it. We could not see people using the specifics of the Hockey.
No, wait, look, I have a strong argument about Katakuri future sight being better than any of the Admirals, right? Which makes sense. And what you're saying, your thing about, well, I could just say the Admirals don't have hardening. No, that's a silly speculation. It's not the same thing.
No, you're saying that because you saw Katakuri use it.
No.
That's the focus of your argument.
But listen, we seen him use it in battle. We seen him use it not in battle. We never seen the Admirals use it not in battle. So it's like if they had it to the extent that Katakuri had it at, this is still it's like you want the Admirals to be so strong. You want to handicap
Katakuri was What we've seen so far, Katakuri is one of the only people that like literally says what's going to happen, so it's telegraphed to the audience exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, so if the Admirals had a future sight that was on par with his, right? They would be able to do the same thing. So like at Sabata Odi, right? It's not like Kizaru was like Kuma's gonna come. Or oh, Rayleigh's gonna come. Rayleigh comes and he's like,
It
oh,
would have been impossible for Katakuri to have seen Rayleigh coming as well.
No, no, he's seen
Katakuri can't see the future of something he's not looking at.
But look, he seen Luffy coming out the cake. And he was like, he
because
noticed
he was looking at the cake. If something was happening behind Katakuri and he does not have vision of it, he cannot tell the future. Because if that was the case, Ty, then he would be like Neji from Naruto with the 359 degrees, but he'd see the future in every single direction, which is not the case.
He still, all right, look, situations happened where he still seen situations happen before they was happening, and he said it.
And
like,
he looked at it. He was right. surveying the situation.
All right,
he was looking at it.
Like a lot of situations, like with Sanji. So look, like with Sanji, where Sanji's attacking. No, the priest is about to shoot Sanji, and he goes, "Oh, I see he's gonna miss. That doesn't work. Let me do it." You never seen an Admirals be like, "Okay, no, that's not gonna work. Let me do it." So look, for example, right? And we know this guy doesn't have future sight because he can't even see. So he has the other kind of future sight, Fuji. He has the what is called the type of observations Fuji has.
It's hard to say exactly what it is, but it's more like emotion based.
Yeah. But it's a name for it though. So remember when Mamunga? No, I don't know if that's his name, but you know the Vice Admiral that fights Sabo?
That fight too?
And Sabo, Bastille.
Oh, you mean Bastille? Yeah, Bastille.
Yeah. So Katakuri's like, nah, the priest that isn't gonna work. Let me shoot Sanji. So Bastille goes to fight Sabo. He gets wrecked. If Fuji had future sight, he could have been like, okay, that's not gonna work.
Well, Ty, you kind of disqualified Fuji from the argument because he doesn't have eyes.
No. I know, but this is just an example, Drizzt, where we're like, all right, this is a clear
Fuji's kind of an extreme example because you can't apply him to the other admirals because he's not like the other admirals.
My example doesn't end at Fuji because if we go to Marineford, it was lots of situations where if these admirals had future sight, they could have been like, that's not going to work. Let me do it. You know what I mean? But they did not display future sight. It's like you don't want to give it to them.
What's the evidence of not displaying it?
Because they didn't. All right, look, the evidence of them. No. Listen, I think that they have future sight. I never said that they didn't have future sight. I said that they have future sight to the extent of where, like, you know how
that could be correct, Ty, but I don't think there's actually enough evidence to prove that.
No, there is.
I agree that that's an extreme possibility.
There is like if you I don't know what your I don't know what your objective is. Or I don't know.
Ty, the reason I'm disagreeing with you because I need to see this replicated in the post time skip.
No, look. What I'm trying to say is that like if you was trying to see, like, I'm just trying to, like, I have no favors. I'm just trying to, like, use the evidence in the story to figure out this stuff. If you was doing the same thing, you would be like, okay, Ty has a point. Like Katakuri.
I already said you have a point.
Not only wait. Look, not only in battle was Katakuri telling the future. Katakuri was saying the future about every, like, anything. And then in battle, he was able to tell when his comrades were fell and he tried to attempt to do it. So at Marineford, we didn't see the admirals be like, let me do this because this guy is not, you know what I mean? Like we see no future sight outside of, look, Drizzt, we see no future sight outside of somebody attacking you, and then you move your body around so they don't attack you. And to me, we've seen Katakuri do that too, but that's like a lower level of it to me from what I've seen from my speculations. To where, like, what Katakuri was doing was a more specialized version of it, where he's just telling the future about everything. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not saying that the admirals don't have future sight, but Katakuri has it to a higher degree. We'll let y'all figure that out in the comments. You know, whether the Katakuri has better future sight, and do y'all understand what I'm saying or y'all don't? But Drizzt, so look, so Katakuri has an extreme future sight. The admirals have future sight, right? The admirals have the level 3 haki, right?
Mm-hmm.
Katakuri probably doesn't have that. It's tricky though because he was fusing his haki with his devil fruit and stuff like that, like the sticky block mochi. So I think he at least probably has the barrier joint. But that's tricky, you know. But Katakuri also has King's haki. So we haven't seen the admirals display King's haki yet. So like if we was to compare it, right? Hack's devil fruit from Katakuri, Hack's devil fruit from the admirals. You could say the admirals devil fruit is a little bit more hack still, but then again, his is like a Logia too. So his is kind of like, it got the stickiness to it. So they kind of all Hack's devil fruits, right? Future sight, advanced future sight that this guy Katakuri was doing, and then you have the thing that they're doing, the level 3 haki, the barrier thing, right? And that's not even a level 3. They just did the barrier. You know what I mean? So I think it's evidence where Katakuri was shown to have the barrier thing too. Like, or it could be said to where like, you probably he didn't do a clear example of it, but he did some stuff. But
What stuff did he do, Ty?
the
There
thing
is nothing to indicate that he has the barrier hockey.
okay, so when he made his remember, okay, so he doesn't need the, this is how strong this guy is. He doesn't need the barrier. We'll just take it out. He doesn't need the barrier. But what he does have though, he does have different levels of hardening. You know what I mean? Like to where like, he's like, Luffy, my hardening is of a different color of yours or whatever he was saying. He's like, like it's of a different color and you can't damage it with your current color. And then Luffy, remember Luffy color of observation was increasing and stuff like that. So he does have good armament where it's like, it's not just like your basic armament, but the admirals have future sight, barrier, right? And that's it. That's in terms of hockey. Katakuri.
That's it.
Yeah.
Level 3 armament hockey and future sight.
No, stop. Level 3 armament, just so we're clear on this, right? Level 1 is armament. Level 2 is the barrier. Level 3 is the thing that when you break stuff.
Level 1 is armament. Level 2 is hardening. Level 3 is barrier.
Okay, so level 4 is when you break it out from the inside out. Okay, no, I thought you just thought it was 3. Okay, whatever. Okay, so here's the thing, Drizzt. Here's why. Like, all right, look. So they have level 3, right? And they have future sight. This is like an advanced observation. So now when we go to Katakuri, and they have armament too. So when we go to Katakuri, he has armament too. He has different colors of armaments. I could say they have different colors of armaments too, whatever. The Katakuri has this advanced future sight that we have not seen anybody match his future sight yet.
Yes, but Ty, the only difference you've made between the future sights is that Katakuri has used it outside of combat.
And
if they're fighting each other, why does that matter?
It's more. He's doing it at a more advanced level. All right, so like you say that, you see how you say Fuji, and it's the thing. It's like it doesn't add up. You use stuff in one instance and then you take them away in another way. So you said Fuji casually drops meteors, right? Casually. Katakuri's casually telling the future, Drizzt. Like
yes, I'm not saying that Katakuri isn't strong, Ty.
No, but I'm talking about. I'm just talking about
the difference. The difference between that is that we've seen the full extent of what Katakuri can do. We have not seen that for Fuji.
But what I'm
we're dealing with one thing that's a known thing and one thing that's an unknown.
He's still casually telling the future.
Yes, and he has really good observation hockey.
All right, look, but then he's doing it in a way. So, like, to my speculation, you know what I mean? Like I said, like in my observation, he's doing it to. He has like a gift or something like that. He's talented. Like even here's the thing, right? Capone, he hyped him up and he said like, his observation hockey is so good he can see into the future and stuff like that. With the admirals, they didn't get hyped up to that extent. It's just like, okay, they have future sight. But Katakuri, he has this advanced level future sight. But I'm not finished there. So it's like, okay, look, he has advanced future sight. They both have armament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Katakuri has King's hockey. The admirals, so what we know right now, they don't have King's hockey. So if you're gonna compare them with hockey, I think that's pretty that's pretty equal, and I think that it's even.
How is it equal?
Because I don't even think it's equal. Just I think Katakuri has a better set of abilities. Because look,
so the thing with that, Ty, is you haven't distinguished how Katakuri's in-fighting hockey is different from this out-of-fight hockey, and why that matters in a fight. 2, just because the admirals have better armament hockey, and 3, Conqueror's hockey can't be used in fights.
The reason why it matters is that if we have somebody that all right. So say like if we have Fuji who's spamming meteors, right? Like it's nothing. And then we have Akainu who can do it, but it takes him a little something to do it, or whatever the case is. Then that means that as far as like meteors versus that goes, that Fuji could probably do it for longer, or whatever the case is. The thing is that like Katakuri future sight is crazy. You know what I mean? Like he's spamming it like it's nothing. And to me, he's showing it to a high degree because it doesn't matter. Like on the battlefield, he's not only using it. See, like you're just like you're being lazy and you're trying to say like
the difference is I think you're actually hurting yourself here because Katakuri's out of all those examples, Katakuri's the only person who's run out of hockey.
But he's using it way more, so I wouldn't be surprised. Because
so if he's using it way more, that means it's more inefficient.
No, it's not.
The admirals could fight for like equally as long. The admirals fought for 10 days.
All right, look, but Luffy fought Cracker for 10 days. We don't.
He fought him for 11 hours, not 10 days.
All right, no. I mean, yeah, for 11 hours, but I mean, like, until we see a fight that long and see what's going on, or what? Like they could have ran out of hockey and they could have got their hockey back. I'm pretty sure
that's a possibility.
All right, but Katakuri, and then it's still that we've seen Katakuri have his fight. You know what I mean? Like
Uh huh.
Whitebeard. Like you could say like, oh, Whitebeard's the only Yonko to faint. And of course, he dude died. He had to go out. So with Katakuri, he fought Luffy into like a fight to the finish. The Admirals didn't fight anybody to a fight to the finish yet that we've seen on screen. What I'm trying to say is that Katakuri, he's showing a level of future sight. All right, like he's showing a level of future sight beyond just you're gonna attack me and I'm gonna see and I'm gonna move my body through it. He's showing it to us like my comrade is gonna miss. Let me attack this guy. He's
But
seeing
why does
stuff
that matter in a fight? We're talking about how
because
strong they
no,
are.
I mean, look, in the example that happened, because Sanji's no scrub, it felt because even though he attacked Sanji, Sanji avoided it too. But it matters because you can like, what if Sanji was fodder, right? Or what if Sanji was a weaker fighter? Like not even fodder. What if Sanji was like Caribou, who's not fodder, dude's a supernova? So what if he was like, this is gonna miss, let me hit him, and then he takes Caribou out. It's an effective technique. Like I'm paying attention to every single thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but so like I agree, Ty. There are a lot of things you can make the argument for with every single person that would be effective, but we're kind of talking at like the top tier of power.
Yeah.
Why
So
is Katakuri's future sight more effective than the future sight that the admirals have?
because
If Katakuri, like the only difference so far you've been able to name is that Katakuri is used it outside of a fight.
yeah, and that he uses it in fights to see what his comrades like to see like if his comrade attacks will land or not. So say like if it's Katakuri and Big Mom versus uh Aokiji and Kizaru, right? He can see, oh, Big Mom is gonna miss. Let me hit. You know what I mean? Which gives him an edge over them in a combat. You know what I mean? Like in a 1v1, it's not as powerful. But in terms of fights in One Piece, as Luffy said, it's no fair ones. We've seen two admirals fight Shiki and stuff like that. So it's not gonna always be 1v1s. It's a more advanced ability. It's something that you have to give to Katakuri, so I'm gonna give it to him. It seems like you don't want to give nothing to the right hand man. You don't want to give nothing to Katakuri because you want the admirals to just be better. It's like,
No,
no.
Ty. Well, Ty, the thing is, like you're making the argument now that Katakuri is helpful because in a 2v1 he can help.
Yeah.
If you put
But
two
his advanced
admirals in that situation, what's better?
what do you mean what's better?
You're trying to make the argument that Katakuri is stronger because outside of fighting, which is the only difference that his future sight has, that means
Okay,
it's better.
okay. We're not talking about stronger. I'm talking about like visual hockey, like your observation
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
like,
and
if
so
he
how
has
does that translate in scaling his power?
all right, because all right, look, he has higher. All right, so now it's like you're saying like he has better observation, but I don't care because how does that work in a 1v1? Which is cool, but look, and what I'm talking about the breakdown. So he has higher observation hockey than him by a bit. He has future sight. And look, and in a 2v1 fight, because it's not gonna always be 1v1s. Jack just went crazy on a bunch of people at once. So like in a 2v1 fight or in a having many fight or in a war, he can see that his comrade is gonna miss and he should help or whatever the case is. So the admirals haven't been shown to do that. So they might even win because of that. Like if he's able to see like, all right, remember Mihawk, right? Mihawk is like, I want to tell, all right, look, so Kizaru, right? Remember when Kizaru was gonna attack Whitebeard, right?
Okay.
Katakuri could have been like, no, look, like
Well, the end result would have been the same. Marco got in and handled it. Katakuri would have got in and deflected it.
What I'm saying is that what Katakuri could have seen like Marco's gonna jump in. Let me do something like let me fly in and hit Marco with a block mochi so that way Kizaru's hit can hit. So you see how effective it is? Like you can't downplay that. That's some impressive
Ty,
stuff.
the same argument you made. If any of the admirals were there with Kizaru doing the same thing at the same time, there would have been a different result. Something else would have had to have happened.
No. See, Katakuri doesn't have to be right there to do it. He just have to be there. They was all at Marineford. So it's not like Aokiji said, jumped in and did something to help Kizaru. He was on his own. So I think as terms of future sight is, and this is something that I just came up with that I created from my speculation. You know what I mean? It seems like y'all only respect previous speculations from other people, not like when I make up new speculations about stuff. So, this is something that's in the manga for people who care about the facts and people who's not just piggybacking off of what other people say. Katakuri has shown observation hockey, his future sight, to the extent of using it in battle, outside of battle, and even using it in battle to the point where he can tell if his comrades will hit or not. The admirals have not shown that ability, and so he's better at future sight than the admirals. Now look, let's move on because that's not superly all that important because it's not.
Then I'll continue with my points then, Ty. Okay.
Wait, because I want to. All right, look. So now they both have armament hockey, right? Now while Katakuri does not have the barrier, right? He has King's hockey. So this is what I mean. Like in terms of their hockey trump cards, Katakuri is holding a better arsenal. You know what I mean?
No, because Conqueror's hockey has been useless in every single fight in the series.
But yet, the admirals feared when they found that Luffy had King Kong
Yes,
Sake, they
because
were scared.
what it could be at some point in the future, Ty, that we find out that it actually is usable in battle, as people think
Yeah,
Shanks is there for the
yeah.
series.
So,
But every
okay,
single person, every single first commander has not used it effectively in a fight. No one in the series has been able to use it effectively in a
well,
fight, and it's
it's
only
still
been
good.
used to defeat people who are so weak you could have just tipped them over with your breath.
Okay, yeah. But the way that the story is going now, like don't do this with this when the way that the story is right now, right? Like it's still useful, it still has its uses, but the way that the story is right now, observation, cool. Oh snap, future sight,
Okay,
regular
Ty,
hockey,
let me
cool.
ask you something, Ty.
Iberia,
Let me ask you something, Ty, because
from the inside out.
with your argument, I think you're going to try and argue something that you do not agree with. So every single thing you said about the
No, I don't.
admirals, about Katakuri having one up on them, can be applied to Akainu, who we both agree is Yonko level.
What do you wait? What, you trying to say? And so
So
no.
by your
In
arguments,
terms of his hockey,
Katakuri has Conqueror's Hockey, Katakuri has Advanced Future Sight, and he's got Armored Hockey,
yeah.
and Akainu hasn't shown anything that the other admirals haven't that would be able to beat that by your estimation. So therefore, Katakuri is on their level.
Of course, which is what I told
So,
you.
but we both agree. So Katakuri is Yonko level then, not Admiral level.
Okay, you're tippy toeing between the power threads. Like Akainu is a Yonko level character. The other
Yes, right.
admirals,
And you said that he's stronger than the other admirals, but now you're making the
no.
argument.
Okay, listen, you all right? Don't cut me off because you're all right. Look, what I'm saying is that in terms of history, because at first when you thought the admirals had a better arsenal of hockey, is cool, but when I actually point out, like, like actually Katakuri has the better
Yeah,
arsenal
and
of
Ty,
hockey.
you remember if I've said this about 4 or 5 times now. I think you have a point. I just don't know if it can be proven.
Yeah. Okay. Look, so here's what I'm saying. All right, look, I'm saying that even if we use Akainu, right, who is Yonko level, because more stuff comes into play, and I don't even want Akainu in this conversation just because
Well, it has to
he
remain consistent with your
no
power
no
scaling,
no no
Ty.
no no
So he
no.
has to be brought into here.
I'm not BSing around, right? So it doesn't matter if he's in the conversation or not. But what I'm talking about, the biggest problem in the community why people have the Admiral level power scaling all effed up, and you just did it right now, is that they want to bring a effing Yonko level character into the discussion. And meanwhile, the other ones are not Yonko. At the end of the day, no matter how close of a fight it was, one dude won, the other dude lost his leg, and that was it. That guy won. He's Yonko level. The other ones are not. You know what I mean? So we're not talking about.
So Ty, but like Ty, you're missing so much context here because I've explained, and I'm going to explain further if I'm allowed to get there. Is that those things, those details for how Akainu got hurt, you cannot say that the first commanders would be able to do that.
Wait. All right, look. So I don't think that's true because.
So you think that if Katakuri and Big Mom fought, Big Mom is getting scarred like Akainu did against Aokiji.
It's not the same. It's not the same thing.
If Queen fought Kaido, Queen's going to scar Kaido. If Queen fought Big Mom, is Queen going to scar Big Mom?
Okay, look, it doesn't work like that because the admirals, like the fleet admiral being Yonko level is like yeah, the fleet admiral's Yonko level. The admirals being right hand man level is all right. Look, so all right,
no, Ty, you just put yourself to a hole. If you think the admiral's a right hand level and fleet admiral is Yonko level, then by your own headcanon and your own words, first mates, first commanders are able to take their Yonkos to extreme diffs.
No, I didn't say that. So just stop it. So the problem with what you just said, and I'm going to say what the problem with what you just said is that just because you fight for the fleet admiral position does not mean just because you fight for the fleet admiral position and you win does not mean you were Yonko level the whole time. So this was like I said.
But you told me earlier in the conversation that Akainu was already that level.
No, I said Akainu.
You said the things he displayed in Marineford put him way above the other admirals because he showed more. That's what you said.
Look, so I said that, but that doesn't mean that I said to Yonko level. I said Akainu is A+ admiral level. Aokiji is A admiral level. I said that Kizaru is A- admiral level. So if an A+ guy fight an A, and
they become Yonko level.
So it's not just based off of that. It's based off that he won, and then it's like he is the fleet admiral or whatever. Then maybe he's not like. Here's the thing. I think he's barely Yonko level. I don't think like he's a solidified solid, like, he's on the Yonko level. But I think like he's pretty. I think he's probably like Blackbeard, where, like, maybe he got it, maybe he don't. Who knows? But this is what I mean is that, like, okay, so when they had all those scars and stuff like that, it would more so be like the example you brought up before, where, remember you said that if something was happened to Big Mom, Katakuri becomes the new Yonko, or, like, Whitebeard dies, so now it's Marco. Marco's in charge of the Whitebeard pirates. So a better example of what happened is, like, if Big Mom dies, right, and Katakuri goes to become the leader of the Big Mom pirates, and then Smoothie's like, no, 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 I want to do it. So they fight. Smoothie and Katakuri fighting for a 10-day fight, which can happen. You know what I mean? Because
No,
I don't think Katakuri is that much better than Smoothie. That, like,
they're
I
not
think I
fighting
think
for
the right.
10 days, Ty.
Yes, they can. We just don't know, right? So you can't say that for sure, because we don't know. And then keep this in mind too. Y'all underrate the right hand men. So it's like, we don't know that. But look, so if they was to fight, right, and have a fight where, Smoothie Katakuri wins. Maybe Smoothie loses a limb, but Katakuri got some scars on him. He wins. Now, because of the context of the story, Katakuri is now a Yonko. So,
So you're
is he
saying
Yonko level?
that you only become Yonko level if you're fighting for the title, and it doesn't
That's
matter the
not what
level
I'm
of opponent
saying.
that you're fighting.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Katakuri would be currently the Yonko, and then at some point, after a while, from him fighting more, whatever the case is, he would get, like, he would actually be of Yonko's strength. So this is the thing, like,
You have
with
to fight
Akainu.
someone though of near Yonko status to become Yonko. You just it's like
So
saying
look, look,
if
look, look,
Luffy no, Ty, here's the thing. It's like saying Luffy's a Goku right now, right? In title. If Luffy kept fighting a bunch of fodder, then realistically he would just become Yonko level by your standards.
no, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, so the thing, like I said, with Aokiji, with Akainu, is he was an A plus fighting an A, and he won an extreme diff fight, and he is the fleet admiral. You know what I mean? The fleet admiral, up until this point in the story, has been portrayed to be on par with a Yonko. So is he? The thing is like you're so quick to say Akainu is a certified Yonko level character right now, and I'm more saying, like, uh, he might be Uncle level, maybe he is, he should be because of the title. It's not as, like, I'm not so confident in him even being Yonko level. So I'm not saying that, like, oh, you just beat, like, if your category, you just beat Smooth and you go to Yonko level. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, he is the fleet admiral, you know what I mean? And the fleet admiral should be on a Yonko level. But just because he's not, like, I wasn't saying that he was Yonko level already. You get what I'm trying to say? Like Katakuri was right hand man level, fought Smoothie. Now he's the Yonko. It's his crew now. Akainu fought Aokiji for the title. He won, and now he's the fleet admiral. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that. I'm not saying that he's a Yonko level. So now when we're talking about the power scale, it's like when you try to bring, like, oh, so okay, so you're trying to say Katakuri has better than Akainu? Yes, but I'm not even saying that that he's if anything, he's the weakest. He's the weakest Yonko level person, I think, if anything. Like, Akainu, if he's even on a Yonko level, you know what I mean? So, but just the way that things is, from what has been shown, Katakuri has shown better future sight. He has King's Haki. Oh, and this is what I was trying to say, is that when we see that better observation Haki is future sight, or it's like what Fujitora could do, and that's impressive stuff. When we see that better armament is the barrier, better armament is the stranger from the inside out, and that's like, wow, Drizzt, that better King's Haki is going to be something like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yes, but no one has had it so far. No one.
Listen, but it doesn't matter though, because
It does.
Drizzt,
Because that's like saying that anyone can develop any ability if they just
no.
if you say
Listen,
so.
here's why it matters, because it's kind of like we seen Luffy do Gear 1. No, not Gear 1, my bad. We seen Luffy do Gear 2, Gear 3, and we knew a Gear 4 was coming. Or it was like a high probability Gear 4 was coming. So with this, right? Because this isn't so much about what's in the story right now, because this is some, like, it's a portrayal thing too. It's like, we know what's coming because of the portrayal of what has been shown before. So we know that it's gonna come advance our next level Conqueror's Haki. And then we've seen a little bit of it, in my opinion, when Shanks was using Conqueror's Haki on Whitebeard's ship to destroy the ship when he was walking. So that's probably like
I agree
level
with
2
you. Okay.
But now, that's not really. And then who knows to what extent Shanks was doing that at. But like, maybe if he would have tried hard, he's not gonna just destroy Whitebeard's ship. You know what I mean? So who knows if that being stronger is something, but then it's probably like, a level 3 of it, but that's a strong ability. And Katakuri, we don't know to what levels he had it at, but he has future sight. I mean, no, not future sight. He has King Conqueror's Haki. So when I say that, like, he has a better arsenal of stuff because he has if the admirals are shown to have King Conqueror's Haki, then that's different. But when you have King Conqueror's Haki, you have this advanced future sight, and then you still have armament. Where the admirals, they just have future sight, barrier, which is good, but the Conqueror's Haki is good in my opinion. And then you have the regular armament. I think Katakuri just has a better arsenal of Haki. Now listen, this is not all about Haki though, because well, I mean, it's tricky just because like it's not all about your arsenal of Haki, it's about your mastery of the arsenal of Haki that you have. So while I'll give it to Katakuri in his future sight Haki, Akainu probably has a better armament than him. So he would probably, win if he fought Katakuri.
I agree.
At this point in the so, but just based off of your arsenal, he has a better arsenal of, just like Luffy does too. Like he has a better arsenal. He has all this stuff. And I think Luffy arsenal is crazy because he seems to have the future sight that Fuji has, and he has future sight. That's something that we haven't seen up until this point in the story. So now when we go to Devil Fruit, they both have Hag's Devil Fruits. They're both monsters. So it's like at what point, Akainu aside, because he's a Yonko level character now, and we're talking about Admiral level people. I don't get how these admirals like Aokiji, Kizaru, Fuji, and Greenbow, I don't get how they're better than this guy, Katakuri, because that's like, what do they have? You know what I mean? That's better. Besides the barrier, because Katakuri has King Conqueror's Haki, and he has a little better version of Future Sight than they do, and his Devil Fruit hacks too.
All right, then I think that's a good segue for me to go into to my other points, if you will let me.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just gonna list a bunch of them in a row. Take note of some of them, but okay. I kind of have a decent amount here. So you asked me before about, the admirals, how I thought the admirals might have been nerfed at Marineford. So here is my response to that to you. So we know that Akainu, and because of his fight with Aokiji, that they can do things on a truly island level capability. They're able to completely change the environment of an island for years after it's happened, which is something that we haven't even seen the Yonko do that, actually. Only the Admirals have been able to do that. But we know, though, that at Marineford, the objectives of the people were different. Whitebeard was trying to destroy Marineford. The Admirals, as stated by Akainu himself, were trying to protect Marineford. They were not able to use all of the abilities that they would have wanted to use at a grand scale because it would have actually hurt their cause in trying to protect what they were trying to protect, which is Marineford.
You say that, but yet Akainu did that move that like went crazy everywhere.
Yes, and that was in the ocean, not on the actual building.
And then it was all right. The other thing is that, again, like with how strong these techniques actually are, you know what I mean? Like I think it was just something like how Dofi did his awakening and he had the strings coming up. Not like that wasn't strong, but I think their awakening did something where it changed the whole environment to that. But what I'm trying to say that I don't think that's like making. I don't think that's like a big. I don't think that's as big of a deal as like
it is. If you're not able to go all out because you risk literally destroying your entire army, that's a nerf.
No, what I'm saying is that I don't even think that those attacks would be strong enough to even.
We already know that they're able to Punk Hazard was huge. They were able to completely change the environment permanently by going all out when they knew no one else was there. If the Admirals went all out, they're changing the entire environment of Marineford.
Okay, so with Marco, that doesn't count because him going all out doesn't hurt his comrades. But Whitebeard couldn't go all out either.
Whitebeard tried to destroy Marineford. That's literally what Whitebeard said. Akainu was fighting. Whenever he was fighting Whitebeard, he said, "Stop destroying Marineford," and Whitebeard said, "Try to stop me." And he used heaven and earth. He tried to spin and put tidal waves that would completely destroy the entire place. Yeah, he was lifting up the ground itself to try and destroy it.
All right, you got to be fair. He still had to hold back some to not hurt his own men, just like you're implying with the Admirals.
Well, actually, with the heaven and earth, had that went through, he would have killed his own men. It's only because Aokiji stopped it that it didn't kill people.
I don't think he Drizzt. He went there to save one of his men.
He knew that the Admirals were going to stop that.
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's what if they didn't? I don't think he's gonna kill all his men trying to save one of his men. That just doesn't.
Did you see the tsunami tide? That literally was the entire battlefield.
I don't think it's killing. All right, like
If no one had stopped that, what do you think would have happened?
I think that's dangerous. I don't think that that's killing his omen. I think he can do better than that, and he can kill his omen if he wants to. But that's not what he was doing. I just think it worked both ways. But look, all right. Versus Marco, like let's use Marco for example, right? So you're Aokiji. You're gonna turn the whole floor into ice. Or you're Akainu. You're gonna turn the whole floor into magma. How is that slowing down Marco? How's that stopping Marco? You know what I mean? It's like he's flying in the air. So it's like versus another top tier. I don't see how that's the type of thing that you should depend on to say, like, you know, well, because he didn't use that ability, he was holding back and he's actually stronger than what he actually was. And if he used that ability, he would have won. And then like Kizaru, right? He has light. So like, what is like, all right, I get it. If you can't see, it's just light everywhere. You know what I mean? So then it's like where your observation haki got to come into play, where it's like, you know, that type of observation haki that Fujitora has,
Mm-hmm.
where you like sense it.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I can't see, it's too much light, but I sense it, whatever. And you're still fighting Kizaru already, but it's like, what is putting light all over the place really doing? You know what I mean? So it's like, what is?
It does a lot. Only people like Fujitora would be able to fight against like
Yeah,
not being able to see.
if it even worked to that extent, you know what I mean? Like I just gave it a boost, but I'm like, okay.
But the point is, like, 2 of the 3 admirals have demonstrated the ability to completely change the environment, which means that Kizaru also has similar ability at his disposal because they're all they were all of similar level.
Yeah, we just don't know what it is. But
which
how
means
is
that they were also nerfed at Marineford.
But how is that helping? All right, so how is that stopping Marco? You know what I mean?
They wouldn't even have to resort to that to stop Marco. We already know that Marco couldn't do anything against them.
How? What do you mean?
So, like, okay, this will go into my future points. So, we know that, and like we have to agree that even though you've kind of changed it to kind of like the lowest of the Yonko level.
Yeah.
People like Akainu who, like, even if you said yourself that maybe he wasn't Yonko level prior, you know, to the end of Marineford, he got that after beating out Kiji, right? Even at Marineford, Akainu himself was so strong that he could fight Whitebeard, come out the victor essentially. Let me finish, Ty. Come out the victor essentially in terms of damage, able to come back and completely ignore multiple commanders who are using Haki to try and hurt him and swipe them aside like they were ants.
All right, but
after that, the actual fight where he had to try and he couldn't just ignore the commanders was against another admiral.
Okay, but I think you're leaving out a lot of context. I don't know why, but
what context am I leaving out, Ty?
Okay, you're leaving out context that when you said, all right, like Whitebeard, right? Dude was the story went out there when we first see Whitebeard. What do we see, Drizzt?
What? When he was meeting Shanks?
Yeah, when the first time we see Whitebeard, he has a bunch of medical equipment on, and he's sick. He's not in a healthy condition, and this was brought up time and time again in the story in multiple parts. So it's like from my and people are so silly that I'm not trying to call you silly because I don't think this applies to you, but people are so silly that they hear about what Whitebeard did in the past, but they ignore that he was sick. Like they obviously went out the way to show you that he was sick because obviously if dude wasn't sick, that would have never went down like that. Probably if he was old or not, but so the thing is that, like, from the Whitebeard that I seen, right, he was an A+ character too. He was not on a Yonko level. Dude was too sick.
But earlier you said that Whitebeard was Yonko level. He was just the weakest.
No, I said the weakest Yonko die first. That's what I said. At the end of the day,
which means he's a Yonko.
No, Drizzt. No, Drizzt. Look, pay attention.
So what you're saying is that Whitebeard was only a Yonko in status, and that Marineford he was weaker than Yonko level.
At the end of the day, right? If you're Blackbeard who became a Yonko because you beat Marco, or if you're Akainu because you became the Fleet Admiral because you beat Aokiji, or if you're Luffy because Big Moose Morgan is like, yo, this is the 5th Emperor, right? Like, no matter how you got that title, if you had that title, you have that title. It does not mean you are of that level still currently until you die. No, that does not mean. It does mean like you have that title, you have that rank. So Whitebeard is a Yonko, so it applies as to like the weakest Yonko will die first or will fall first. But Whitebeard was somebody who was Yonko level in the past, and maybe he was Yonko level when he was older, but then whatever sickness he had made him not Yonko level anymore. And then plus him getting old. So the thing is that, like, you know, at Marineford, he was not. Drizzt, if dude was Yonko level at Marineford, it would have been a wrap. But don't get it twisted though. Is that, like, you know, these levels of Admiral level is big stuff. So him at Marineford being an A plus, like Akainu, you see
Even under those circumstances, Ty, let's argue that you're right. Okay, let's say Whitebeard was that much weaker. Okay,
yeah.
that doesn't ignore the fact that Akainu is able to fight someone of quote unquote weaker Admiral level and then completely ignore the commanders like they don't even matter.
It's not a weaker Admiral level. It's that dude is an A plus and fought somebody.
Right, yeah, and even after that, Akainu was able to ignore the commanders like they don't matter.
Okay, wait. But the other thing about that is that was towards the end of the war, and the other ones is like, I'm not even trying to say like those ones is like whatever, because those people was like, we never, I don't know, they get in like, but the ones who like Marco and Vista, to me, from what I've seen, that Marco took so much damage and Marco been through so much that at that point, and when they did that, he wasn't at full ability. He wasn't at he didn't have a lot of stamina anymore. He took a lot of laser beams from Kizaru.
His ability allows him to heal, Ty.
No, but listen, he took a lot of hits from Kizaru with sea stone cuffs on, but he couldn't heal. He had to eat that damage. And to me, he was fatigued at that point when he did the attack with Vista, which is probably why they got the outcome that they had. I'm pretty sure that like if him and Vista was to fight Akainu, that's not going to be the result of the fight.
But the same can be thrown the other way, Ty. Akainu had just got done with a one-on-one fight with Whitebeard. He had an island-shattering attack put directly into his stomach.
I'm not taking nothing away from Akainu. Just like, but still though, it's not that okay. Whatever. Marco fought his fights. Because look, this is what I'm saying. Like, a fatigued Marco, right? And Vista, right? Because I don't think Vista wasn't fatigued, whatever. But Vista's probably like the third strongest, maybe fourth strongest, whatever. But a fatigued Marco and Vista, right? They tried to attack Akainu and it didn't work. No, a fatigued Akainu and it didn't work. But that's not the same as, to me, like a fresh Marco can hit Akainu on his own. He doesn't need Vista there. But it's just at that point he was fatigued. That's why it went down the way that it went down. Because even remember the part where Marco was clashing with Akainu and they have like a little back and forth.
Nope, they never happened in the canon.
Okay, it didn't happen in the canon, but it happened in the anime, right?
Yeah, and you can't use that to support your argument and then say some other things don't count. That's not how that works.
Wait. Some other things like what?
Like if you're gonna say like, oh, it happened in the anime this way, that way, you have to use everything. If you're gonna use the anime as canon, Ty, when we know certain things literally didn't happen,
we're using it as examples of stuff that happened. If you want to look,
and in the manga, it never happened.
Right, look, it's still a bunch of people who look at the anime, but if you want to just discard it, whatever, just discard it. But the point that I was trying to make is that in that scene, even if it's filler, right? In that scene, Marco, it's not like he just washed Marco away. Marco was putting up a fight. Then
and what happens next time we see Akainu? Marco didn't do anything. Akainu's completely healthy, and he's still at Luffy, even though Marco said his objective was to protect Luffy from Akainu. So Marco failed either way.
But listen, it's not about Marco. Marco doesn't have to succeed in that scenario. What I'm telling you is that he's fatigued so much that he couldn't do it. If this was like at the start of the war, right, where you know how Kizaru did his move, the Marco just took it and took the hit and then recovered from it, right? This was at the start of the war, and Akainu did that. Like if that clash was to happen at the start of the war, I'm pretty sure it would be a tie, or Marco could possibly win. It's that at that point in the war, Marco was so fatigued that even though it was filler.
So Marco, with his ability that allows him to regenerate, after 3 Kizaru laser beams, is more fatigued with a healing ability than Akainu is fighting a Yonko one-on-one without being able to heal.
Listen, we don't know how it works because he took those hits from Kizaru with sea stone cuffs on. And keep this in mind. I'm not saying Marco. Listen, I said Marco beats Kizaru, right? That's what I said. I said Marco beats Kizaru because he had the slightly better advantage of him in the class that I seen until he got put the handcuffs on him. Akainu, right? I think Marco's A plus. I think Akainu's A plus. I think Whitebeard is A plus in terms of their ranks. But so Marco doesn't have to be just as strong as Akainu in every single way. Where it's like, okay, you have to take the hits from Kizaru and still not be fatigued enough to not be overpowered by Akainu. It doesn't matter. Like Akainu has the better stamina over Marco, like his healing powers aside, whatever. But Marco was still. What I'm talking about is just that dude was fatigued. Dude was not at full health. Like if dude was at you. All right, look. So say if Akainu did the move that killed Ace, right?
Okay.
He's jumping in and he's like I'm just gonna end Whitebeard with just one punch. Marco would still show up, still take the hit and recover because that's his ability. And he's at full health. He can do that. But it's like at that point in the war.
I don't know if Marco's taking a magma fist to the heart.
So he technically he is because
To the
what
heart.
people wait look what people were saying is that Kizaru's move, right? It blows you up. Anybody else that would have killed them. It's not like that was petty damage. Like this is
No,
not
because
Capone.
we've seen people get hit by Kizaru's laser beams and not die. We haven't seen that from like a
No,
Kainu.
no, no, no. But not that attack though, right? It's different. It's different. Like somebody told me that like in the movie, even though that was a movie, that attack that he did, like it's a OD. Like it's not just no like that
No, it's
attack is
it's a
crazy.
really good attack, but like it's saying different. Looks like because like Marco got hit by 3 single laser beams. Ace
No,
got
I'm not talking.
magma fisted in the chest.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that Marco can take the magma. I'm talking about how he took the Yasutami, whatever that thing is called. Like that's an attack that's probably like, it's not. Akainu was a strong character. Kizaru was like a more speedster character. So it's not as brute force as that. But if that's gonna punch a hole in your heart and his move can just blow your body up into pieces, it's kind of both hacks
Well,
and
I
tacks.
mean, even Hawkins in the pre-time skip survived that ability.
With
The
the shooter
laser
thing.
beam, yeah.
Well, the way that they show it, like when Marco body blows up, and it's like pretty much like the way that they show it. If it wasn't for his healing, he would have died. But his healing makes him regenerate the damage. But
Yeah, I mean, it's still a really, really good attack. He got hit by a lot of it. He did sustain damage, but as you just said, he has a regenerative ability.
yeah, so from what I could see, if Akainu was to do the move that killed Ace, right, and he did that, and this is a full health Marco, he could do the same thing. He can take the hit, and it'll be like like if he punched him and he one shot in him, but then he just regenerates and gets his energy back. He can do something. But I mean, at that point in the war, right? Back to the canon stuff. At the point in the war where he teams up with Vista to attack him, and he doesn't do anything, due to his fatigue. Like it makes sense to understand it. Like it's like what happened was like at Whole Cake Island, the one time when Luffy comes, the whole crew messes up and all of these like flops happen and stuff, and then Luffy gets to get away and does what he does. It's like the one time Whitebeard has to rescue somebody, one of his crewmates, whatever, and he has to do this Marineford thing. This stuff happens where it's like Squado got to act up and he got to stab Whitebeard. Now Marco got to be worried about it. Now Marco got to take these lasers being, without the it's I don't know if you noticed it. I don't know if you're gonna admit it, but that at Marineford, the plot favored the Marines at Marineford, where it's like the stuff like in Whole Cake Island, the plot favored Luffy, and Wano, the plot is probably going to favor Luffy too. I don't know if it did already or not yet because I'm not looking at the story at that point. But the way all the nerfs that happened to Whitebeard's crew and stuff that gave the Marines the advantage, like they had the plot on their side. So these situations where because I don't think Oda is saying
Well, the
Marco's
difference
weaker.
between there though is that the Marines actually instigated those things themselves. It's not like it's like like God came down like it did in Whole Cake Island, where it's just like boom, Luffy gets all this. The Marines instigated each one of those nerfs.
Okay, but it's like for what's his name, Squado, for Squado to even be that gullible to even fall for that, it's still it's still like a thing where it's like, okay, this is obviously some type of nerf to Whitebeard's crew. So just like for who what happened with like when Opera, I forgot what Opera lied about, but Opera lied about something, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that kind of messed things up. So it's like one of those things where so Whitebeard crew that had, and then him being sick, it was a lot of stuff that went down that went in the Marines' favor. So like so what I'm saying is that like I don't see, oh, Marco is so weak that he can't, even with Vista, he can't touch Arcane. No, I see that like, okay, they didn't really, the odds weren't really in Whitebeard's crew favor. Marco had a hard time. And at this point, but Marco still did good. He didn't just knock on and lay there like what Queen did. What Queen was like with Big Mom. Marco actually endured and was very impressive. But it's like at this point, he didn't have the stamina to hurt Akainu. That's what happened. It's not that. I think that if in the beginning, like how he just took Kizaru's attack, which would have killed them. Otherwise, probably it would have hurt heavily damaged his body. I think he could take damage that like killed Ace. So I think that it was just that he got fatigued at that point. So like I honestly really didn't see nothing at Marineford, honestly, that put Akainu over Marco, or that put him over. Like, wait, hold on. He had stuff that, like, his durability. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, I'm not saying that he didn't have a single trait, because these all people have their own specialty. You know what I mean, but I didn't see nothing that put him on another tier from Marco. You know what I mean? I didn't see anything that separated him, even from Whitebeard. I seen stuff where like, and that's good. That's good portrayal. Like, but he's on a level of Whitebeard, and he's on a level of Marco. I seen. So to me, I seen Marco Whitebeard and Akainu be on. I mean Marco, Whitebeard, and Akainu be on the same tier, just with their own different stuff. Like Whitebeard, he's the attack guy. His attack is probably 99999. Maybe it's not that high. Akainu, he's up there too. And then Marco, he's up there because of his healing and stuff, and he can still do big physical damage, like when he kicked Aokiji and sent them flying. But then it's like I seen the next tiers. I seen like Aokiji probably on the A. Jozu was probably on the A. You know what I mean? And then like I seen like Aokiji. It's Kizaru. Who's I don't know. Kizaru seems like he's at an A minus to me, and maybe Ace was an A minus too. Yeah, I put Ace at A minus too. And then Vista is who knows because he had his little clash with Mihawk, so maybe he was an A too.
All right, something I'll agree with you on before I continue to my next point, because I kind of want to get into the section where we're kind of wrapping it up. But I'll agree with you on this. Marco was nerfed during Marineford and it didn't show his full potential. That is a fact.
All right.
We'll likely see. Like I know what you're going to go from there, Ty, but I know what you're going to say. So let me go to my next point, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, as I told you before, I'm kind of a man who takes portrayal over many other things. Commanders in this series play less of a role as an obstacle for Luffy's journey than the Admirals do. Because the Admirals were placed in the same sequence and same sentence that needs to be overcome by Luffy in order to become the Pirate King and surpass Roger. Don Chenjiao at Dressrosa said, and I quote, "Do you think you can defeat the Marine Admirals and the Yonko? Do you honestly believe you can surpass Roger?" Which puts in the sense that you have to beat the Admirals and the Yonko to surpass Roger. Don't make me laugh. The Commanders play no part in the story that are as critical to this role than the Admirals and Yonkos do.
Well, in that sentence though, it's a tricky sentence because it's like, why why say, right? Do you really think you could beat the Marine Admirals, the Yonko, and then write him in? Like, you know what I mean? That's like in that Commanders is like,
yeah. The Commanders aren't seen as much as an obstacle.
No. It's just that in that, like when you do it that way, right? And then he said the Marine Admirals. I'm pretty sure the Fleet Admiral counts too.
No, that was the entire quote.
No. But I mean that. So look, when you say admirals, the Fleet Admiral still counts as an admiral. I don't think when people say Admiral, like especially when this guy used it. I mean, like in the context this guy used it, but you said like, do you really think you could beat the Marine Admirals? Like, so it's pretty much like he's saying like, do you think you can beat the Fleet Admirals and the other Admirals, or do you think you could beat the Yonko and their crew, or do you think you can beat that's to me that's like what he's saying. But when you, all right, so my problem with that then, if you're gonna try to use a Don Chenjiao quote to say that it's about the Yonko and the Admirals, right? Then if they're on a Yonko level, right? We seen Big Mom nerf without Haki, two-shot Queen, and that was it. Queen got back up because we know that Queen is probably an awakened Devil Fruit user, and we know that they can get back up. But it was a clear difference in power. So why wasn't that clear difference in power shown at Marine?
Well, we've actually seen it because the Marineford Aokiji one-shot Jozu.
No. We seen. Listen, right? We seen when again the nerfs that happened for the Whitebeard Pirates.
Yeah, Jozu had the jump. Here's the difference in level between the Admirals and Commanders, Ty. Aokiji was 1v1ing Whitebeard, and they both exchanged blows that didn't hurt each other, so they were on equal standing. Jozu comes in out of nowhere and body slams Aokiji while he's fighting someone else. Aokiji spits up a little bit of blood, and that's whenever he was caught off guard. Whenever Jozu's caught off guard, he loses his entire arm.
All right. So look, all of that is cool, but the thing is that like you bring up these points like, okay, well, Akainu fought Whitebeard and Marco took lasers from Kizaru, so they were both fatigued. You bring up this point that like, okay, Jozu hit him off guard first, blood came out. Now Aokiji hit him and then his whole arm broke. It's not about Jozu doing equal destructive damage to Aokiji because they all have the different strengths and weaknesses and whatever stuff like that. What I'm talking about is that how Jozu hits Aokiji, starts to fight, right? Whatever, he makes him bleed, right? They start fighting, and then until they're at a standstill.
There is no evidence to say they're at a standstill whatsoever.
Yeah, they're fighting. There are
no panels to suggest that.
Listen, they're fighting, right? Nobody's winning. Nobody's losing.
There's no panels to suggest that. That's a fallacious.
Look. Listen, no, we don't come back to right. We don't come back to Jozu breathing heavy. We don't come back to Jozu with his arm already open. We come back to Jozu doing pretty good. And then, draw.
That's not what happened.
Pretty much from what I see, right, it was a draw that they had, just like Sabo versus Fuji. But then Whitebeard gets hurt, Jozu has to be like, dad, like my captain, and then Akainu gets to attack him. And yeah, he does more destructive damage. But besides the Whitebeard, see, like my problem with it is that from what the story showed, if Whitebeard would have never got hurt, Jozu would have never looked away anyway, and Aokiji would have just never had the opportunity to even do that. So I'm not really talking about who has more destructive capability, Jozu or
Well,
Aokiji.
same argument. If like Aokiji wasn't fighting Whitebeard, Jozu would have never even touched him.
Okay, look. So, all right, look. But now, if they're fighting, right, then that means that Drizzt is a standstill, which is like what we had until Whitebeard got touched. You got to try to say, like, I'm not trying to say that Jozu can beat Aokiji.
He can't do anything to Aokiji. That's the difference.
No, look, listen. What I'm trying to say, Aokiji cannot do anything to Jozu.
Still, if he touches Jozu, Jozu's dead.
No. Look, listen. The levels between them is not big enough that Aokiji can do anything to Jozu. At the end of the day, right? If it takes for Whitebeard to be hurt, for Jozu to have to look away, for Aokiji to get the jump on him, just like Marco had to look away for Momonga to put the cuffs and get the jump on him. You know what I mean? Hey, you got the jump on Jozu, you better break his arm. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm got the jump on Aokiji. Why didn't you do anything?
Listen, no, he made him bleed. He didn't.
Yeah, he spit out a little, like, like how in the anime it's like, oh, you spit out a little bit of blood from your mouth. Ooh, you're real tough.
Yeah.
The difference is so, like, whenever one has the advantage of the other, one guy gets minorly injured and the other guy is literally out.
All right, look, but what you're talking about, all right, so what I'm saying is that, all right, I still put Aokiji at A rank and I still put Jozu at A rank. He hasn't shown anything to put him at A plus rank. What I'm trying to say is that, like, okay, like, look, if it's not, all right, look, so I'm not focused on, for this part of the conversation, right? I'm not focused on this is not about who outputs more damage, because that doesn't really, like, to me, like, say if it was the other way around and Jozu broke Aokiji's arm, whatever, I wouldn't be like, oh, so okay, the A pluses was Jozu because yeah, he broke Aokiji's arm, and then it's like, no, Jozu would still be at
you would, Ty. You would totally say that.
No, I wouldn't. And this is the thing, like, you think for whatever reason, I don't know, but these are A-level characters. What I'm trying to say is that what I've seen, right, since one hit one, whatever, he made him bleed, one hit the other one, it's not about, to me, it's not about the making somebody bleed, and it's not about the breaking of the arm. It's about that when the fight was initiated, right, and the fight is happening, without any distractions, they're fighting each other to a draw. They're fighting each other to a standstill.
But there's nothing to suggest that. Nothing whatsoever.
So Whitebeard just gets hurt for no reason, and then Joe just looks away. So pretty much all that just happened for no reason. Like, no, obviously, look, like that was a part of the arc where it's like, okay, Whitebeard's gonna get hurt. Now Joe's distracted. Now Marco's distracted. That's like pretty much like when they started to get
and they got distracted for a reason, Ty. But there was nothing ever in the manga to suggest that they were ever fighting equal at any point in time. Right, ever.
Look, that's because that without that, right? So here's the thing, right? So from what I've seen, right, if that didn't happen, because Marco that they had to do that to put the cuffs on Marco. So if that didn't happen, Marco was like beating. He's high diffing Kizaru. If that didn't happen, Jozu and Aokiji, they're just gonna be like fighting each other to a standstill. You know what I mean? And like, even if one of them was to win, the other one wouldn't be strong enough to even do anything. So like, it kind of doesn't really matter who would win. They would kind of like cancel each other out. So it's like these nerfs have to happen so that that doesn't happen. We don't want the Marines, losing to the Commanders. Not for this one. So it's like, okay, Marco has to get nerfs. Same as Jozu. To me, like when
here's my question to you: why do the Commanders get so many excuses, but the Admirals don't?
No, the Commanders don't get any excuses. This is just
but you're putting up so many excuses. Like, Marco was nerfed like this. Jozu, like, if the plot, your literal argument is if the plot hadn't happened, it would have been even. But whenever I bring up things like the Admirals being nerfed, for you, it's a non-factor.
No, because
you talk about being biased, but this shows your bias.
No, I'm not biased. It's like you have a bias towards.
Everyone has a bias, Ty. You started this conversation. I had this written down. You started this conversation by saying you do not have a bias, and to admit to yourself that you think you don't have a bias, is ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Not in terms of this conversation right here, because I don't like, at the end of the day, like, I'm just trying to give people proper power scaling. I'm not like, if people believe me or not, like, that's not, I don't have a bias or whatever like that. Like, listen, especially with this topic, I'm just being analytical about what I say. So the thing is, Drizzt, right? If the thing, what's impressive to you, like these, like them using their awakenings to, like, affect the area around them, to me, that's not a big enough of a deal that it would shift the favor to them, which is what I explained. Like, I don't see what that's doing to Marco, right? When he out, because he flies. I don't see what the floor being magma. I don't see how that's helping Akainu get the advantage. I don't see how the floor being ice is helping Aokiji get the advantage. And with Kizaru, we don't even know if it would even blind the opponents. I just don't see how light over. I don't see how that would help them get the advantage. So to me, like, it's
so
not.
You don't think that the next level of an ability of a Devil Fruit is a good enough? Like, you can't see, like, I can't see what useful that would be in a fight. In One Piece, where like anything can be used to an advantage. You don't see how
these
an
characters,
awakened Logia can be used to your advantage.
The speculation that we have to piece together where we see the floor was magma, the floor was ice, like that. No, you know what I mean?
But we don't know if that's how it happens.
Yeah, we don't know, but we got to basing it off of what we've seen. Like, I don't see that being, like, I don't see that making it's like, all right, look, at the same time, right? Because it's like, and the other thing too is that it goes both ways. Marco did no named attacks. Never no named attacks. So he was holding back. You don't think the guy, you don't think he has named attacks. So it's a bias where it's like Marco's trying he's trying his hardest, whatever like that, right? But then dude is holding back too. So it works both ways. So it's no need to, I'm not being biased, it's just that, like, it's no need to be like, well, let me cut the Admiral some slack because they didn't do an awakening. Because listen, I'm not ever saying let me cut Marco some slack because he's not using named attacks. No, I'm just like, based off what we've seen, you know what I mean? And then if we count that into the equation, for Kizaru to use named attacks, for Akainu to use named attack, and then Marco didn't even use named attack, but he still had the better of the fight, the slightly better of the fight versus Kizaru. It's showing that he would get the win if it was a fight 1v1 if these interferences wouldn't happen. So it's not that I'm not being biased. Like, why? What am I? I don't have nothing to be biased about with this. This is not like, like, probably like if I painted a picture, you know what I mean, and you said my picture was bad and it took me a year to paint it, I'm gonna have a bias towards my picture. I'm gonna be like, nah, this picture is good. But in terms of this Drizzt, where it's like, it's just One Piece Drizzt, like, that we both read and enjoy, you know what I mean? I don't have a bias towards this power scale on top of it,
because everyone has their own bias, Ty. It's like the ultimate arrogance to say that you are completely neutral in something.
No, listen,
because it cannot be the case.
No, listen, no, it can be as far as this time. I just told you what my bias would be like.
Yes, Ty, and to start this video off, you talked about how much you loved One Piece.
Yeah, I do.
It is not possible for you to be this invested into a series and not have a bias of something.
No, I don't, because look, like I don't.
Unless you're God, Ty.
No. Listen. Actually, like, you're not gonna tell me what I think and how I feel, because that makes no sense. So I told you.
Whenever you start things off by whenever you try to prove your point by saying I'm not biased, you trying to prove that you're not biased doesn't help you prove that you're not biased.
The reason why I have to say that is because you're so biased, and a lot of other people who I talked about.
Yes, but Ty, so you see what you're saying? You're playing like the know you game, where it's like, okay, you're not biased, but everyone else is. Everyone else but you is biased, and that's why this has gone the way it's gone. That cannot be the case.
So what I'm trying to say, you haven't said one thing this whole stream, right, that gave any of the commanders their proper respect. It's like every single thing that these commanders did, you said stuff that, like, took it away from them. Whether
no, I've never said the commanders were impressive, Ty, but what we're drawing the line here is you are saying that the commanders are Admiral level. And I even told you, I even agreed with some of your points that I said it is very well possible that Katakuri could have better future sight than the Admirals. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. And I think you have a point there. But I said I don't think there's enough evidence to prove it, but you could be right there. And I agreed with you whenever you said that Marco was completely nerfed. And I said, yes, for a fact, Marco was nerfed, and he would have done better had he been written to do better. I've agreed with you on numerous points, Ty. It's you who haven't agreed with me.
No, wait, look, listen. So with the Katakuri thing, it's not like you said, like, okay, yeah, he has advanced. I'm like, it was hard for you to be like, okay.
No, Ty, no, because it wasn't hard, because I told you numerous times. I said where we differed was I said I don't think there's enough evidence to actually prove that, but I thought it was a good idea. That's different.
So when I brought the evidence, right, which I had two examples,
and I explained to you why I didn't think that was good enough for me.
Okay, those are great examples, though. You know what I mean? Like, one is that,
as I said, Ty, I agreed. I thought they were good examples, but I don't think it's enough to actually prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that that's actually the case.
Look, that's you being biased towards what the story is showing us. So this is what I mean. So it's not that I'm being biased. It's that, like, you're like you're like nerfing them in terms of this conversation, because you don't want them to be on an Admiral level, and I'm trying to like I'm trying to tell you like, no, look, this happened and this happened, so this happened. So I'm not being being biased, right? And the chat is not stupid. I don't think the chat is stupid. You know what I mean? Some people in the chat are stupid, unfortunately. You know what I mean? But so if I was biased, I would have said something like, something like because what a bias is, and you was in the King of Lightning stream that we did the power scaling thing is. So remember when we was ranking Anel?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you think Anel is on, but I think I think he was highballing Anel, you know what I mean, on the list. And I kept trying to I was like, yo, he's
Well,
not
what I
supposed to
said
be.
about Aneltai is I said I could see the arguments being made now with more information as why people would place him on near commander level. I said, okay, yeah, I could actually see that happening, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, but King of
Which
Lightning was
means
like,
I didn't mean I was biased.
no, I'm not saying that you're biased about that. But I'm talking about King of Lightning was biased when he put him at where he put him at. And I was like, yo, he's not supposed to be there. And then I can understand why he had him there. And then I start to notice that his avatar or whatever is like a black. And now I'm like, all right, come on, King, like that's your like avatar right there. But whatever, that's his bias. He put him there. So I'm not keep in mind, like if I was biased, I would do something and I would be like, these commanders, Drizzt, they're Yonko level, Drizzt. You know what I mean? Marco, man, look, listen, Marco, he kicked Aokiji. He sent him flying like a Yonko would. Like he sent Aokiji flying like Big Mom sent Queen flying. But that would be like being biased. If you get
No,
what I'm trying to say.
it wouldn't be being biased, Ty. That's taking the bias to an extreme to make it almost seem as if it's laughable. That's not proving you're not
No.
biased.
Listen, but that's what bias is to me anyway, because it's like that's like what you're doing.
No,
It might
then
not,
that's not the definition of bias.
no, listen. It might not seem that way to you, but I think that the examples that you're trying to use and that people use to try to say that the commanders are not on par with the Yonko, or that in some instances they can even be stronger, like just like Marco versus Kizaru, based on what we've seen, is like laughable. It's like extreme bias, you know what I mean? But we're not gonna agree on like what's a bias or not. But you don't have to believe me or not, but I'm just gonna for the record, like I said, I told you I'm not being biased about it. I'm just telling the story how I see it. Keep in mind, Drizzt, if things was a little bit different, right? Because I'm just trying to tell a story how I see it. If things was a little bit different, I would be like, yo, the Admirals is Yonko level. Like, yo, you see that they're doing it? Or I would be like, yo, the Admirals is stronger than the right hand man. What are y'all talking about? Y'all bugging. And I would have the examples or whatever. But I just have too many, pieces of evidence, Drizzt, too many examples of them either being equal to Admiral, whether it's like Sabo versus Fuji, where it's like, okay, they tied, or examples of like, Marco getting the better of the fight until Whitebeard got distracted and then the cuffs got put on him. You know what I mean? Or it's like, stuff like Katakuri is showing a higher level of advanced armament haki, a future sight that they're showing. And then besides that, he actually has King Conqueror's haki too. We didn't see that from the Admirals yet. It's just like it's a lot there that's going on that I'm basing my evidence on. It's not a bias, you know what I mean? Like a bias, like to me, like a bias is like when you or how people use it in the community anyway, because people don't have to necessarily use it to the T of the word. But like I seen somebody tag me and you see this stuff a lot, because I know people like tagging you because you respond to people a lot, which is good. But somebody tagged me in a list and they were like, Ty, what do you think about this? I didn't even respond back because they tagged me in a tier list, right? And Zoro was on S with the Yonkos. So it's like that's that character's bias. He had Zoro at the S
Yeah,
with the
but
Yonkos.
like I know where you're going with this, Ty, but like
Yeah.
I just want you to know it's okay to be biased about something. Like
I
I am
know.
biased about multiple subjects, but that doesn't mean I can't have a civil conversation where I think I'm not actually being absurd in it.
No,
What
no.
I think
Listen.
you stray in, Ty, is that I think you try too hard to put off the persona of being completely fair with your ideas that it makes it seem way more obvious that it's not. Because you have gone multiple times to talking about you have said, and this is in multiple streams, not just this one, that you aren't biased, you have no favorite characters, nothing could happen in the series that could ever affect your enjoyment of it, because even if all of the characters die, you wouldn't care.
I didn't say that. I didn't
That
say I
was
don't
one of
have.
the first things you said at the beginning of the stream, Ty.
No, no, no. See, look, all right. So here's the thing too. You got mostly what I said, but you kind of misunderstood it. So please let me tell you what, like I don't don't tell me what you think I meant. Let me actually tell you what I meant since I'm here. You know what I mean? Which was a problem, which happens sometimes. Like people take it's like they mostly get what I say, then they take a little piece of it wrong, and then they misunderstand it. Like Silvers when something like he seen King of
You
Lightning's
don't have
tag
to
and he
describe it, Ty. Just go ahead and say what you were
got it.
trying to say with that.
Okay. Got it. No. But hold on. So like that got wrong, and then I had to fit with and Brago stream. I was like, yo, Silver, this is what I meant. You know, shout out to Silver. He said he's watching. He said he's
Well, what did you mean whenever you said at the beginning of the stream that your enjoyment of the series would not be affected at all if every single character died?
So this is what I said. I said that I didn't say I don't have a favorite character because I have a favorite character.
You have told me before in the past, Ty, that you do not have one.
No, you're misunderstanding what was said. What I said, look, listen, I have a favorite character, right? But what I said in Brago's stream is that I keep saying, I told you, I'm like, yo, One Piece, I like it for this story. I like it for this story. I said many times that like, and this is like, I think this is a fact. People just don't want to accept it. Like, all right, so like if I'm like Rock Lee versus Gaara is better than probably every One Piece fight. Maybe Katakuri versus Luffy can kind of compete with it. Maybe some people say that Luffy versus Rob Lucci can kind of compete with it, but really like that fight just knocks all of those fights out the water. The Luffy versus Katakuri fight was up there, but you know, like Naruto is a way better like combat fight in manga. One Piece has this great story and these great personalities for the characters and like the great setups where it's like, ooh, you want to see Fuji fight Sabo, or ooh, you want to see like Zoro fighting Pico. Like, let's get back to this. You know what I mean? But like in terms of fights, I don't like One Piece for the fights. I like Naruto for the fights. I like Naruto for the fights and the lessons. I like One Piece for the story. And then yeah, the fights because the fight comes after. But you know, I really like it for the story. So what I said is that, you know, Luffy, because Luffy dying doesn't kill the story. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that like if Luffy died, Zoro would continue it with the crew, like the story would continue, like the world. So it's so dope that it's interesting without Luffy. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is that like, you know, it's like you play Burning Blood, right? Or you didn't?
No.
Oh, you didn't play Burning Blood. Did you ever play a One Piece game?
I played like Dynasty Warriors or something, I think.
Dynasty Warriors. Okay, so I think we can agree that like One Piece is so dope in terms of like with how interesting they have the characters and stuff that like if Luffy was not in Dynasty Warriors, you will probably buy the game still and play because this guy got this ability, this guy got this ability, this guy like it's dope. You know what I mean? Like you don't need the main character there to enjoy it. Especially a main character like this one who's like, you know, not really I think Luffy's a lot weaker than what people make it seem like. You know what I mean? Like he struggles with a lot of his opponents. And this is just something that somebody told me. I was at the bar one time and they don't look at One Piece, but they kind of seen a fight somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they seen it on TV or something. And he said that he's seen Luffy versus Doflamingo. He didn't really know Doflamingo name. He was like explaining the guy, and I'm like, oh, that's Doflamingo. So he said, like, yo, I never seen an anime like that where the main character has such a hard time fighting a villain. Because he said, like, he's seen him fighting. He was like, even after Law did what he did, and even after Luffy was fighting him, right? You know, Doflamingo kind of had the better to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Luffy went gear 4 the first time, because I didn't finish the fight, Dofi was still coming at Luffy hard and strong. He's like, die. Like, even when Sun powered up, that's like Goku going Super Saiyan and is still having trouble. So One Piece is dope without Luffy. Like One Piece is dope without Ace. It's dope without Marco. Marco doesn't have to be in One Piece for me to enjoy. Like Big Mom, the Yonko that I think is the strongest Yonko doesn't have to be in One Piece. I'll still be reading it every week to week. Like a lot of these characters, like to me anyway, this is me. Like, you know, I can't speak for everybody else, but a lot of stuff could change. Like for me to not like One Piece, let's see. I'm gonna tell you the stuff that would have to happen.
It's not a question of whether or not you would still like One Piece, because what you're saying, Ty, is that even you just say you just like Oda as an author. That's not the same thing as saying that right now, if you just killed off every single person in the story right in the next chapter, let's say a meteor comes and destroys the entire One Piece planet,
I didn't say
would not feel any different.
Wait. I didn't say that you can't kill everybody because then it's no story. I'm talking about like Luffy can die. I would still read One Piece. Zoro can die, I would still read One Piece. Like, you know, Marco can die, I would still read One Piece. Shanks could die, I would still, like, the whole crew could die. Like, if the story's going to continue, if we're still going to get challenged, I would still read it because, like, you know, that's not, like, when people are biased about something, when whatever they're biased about, if that's not going to be, like, dude who put, shout out to you, though, you know what I mean? Like, dude who put Zoro at Yonko, yo, he would cry. He would, like, they probably wouldn't cry, I don't know, but he would be heartbroken, like, if Zoro got killed or something like that.
So you're saying that, Ty, in this next chapter, if the entire Straw Hat crew just died in the next chapter, your enjoyment of the series would not be affected whatsoever?
No, I would be like, whoa, that's so crazy. Like, yo, that's crazy. Yo, the whole crew, like, that's crazy. But I have to see what was there. I'm not saying that, like, you know, like, for sure, no matter what happens, I'm just going to like, because I don't know what would come next. But, like, say the whole crew dies, right? And then the next chapter, we see Shanks reading the newspaper about it. And he just has this evil look, and he's like, "You filthy government." And then we go back to Sabo, and he's like, "You bigots at the government, y'all gonna pay." You know what I mean? And the story continues. Oh, I'm all in for it. You know what I mean? Like that. Like that's not gonna happen. But I actually think that like stuff like that just makes One Piece better in some ways because I like darker stories with like more stuff going on. Like if Kuina would be the Shogun at Wano, and she's just all dark and stuff like that. It's like, yo, like, I thought you died. It's like, nah, I'm the Shogun. I'm with Kaido and just stuff like that. So, like, don't you think? So hold on. The crew dies, right? Shanks is pissed off. Sabo's pissed off. You want to stop reading One Piece? Like, wouldn't you want to keep reading One Piece and like see what's gonna happen now? Because then at that point too, obviously at that
I
point,
wouldn't keep reading One Piece because I'm interested, Ty. If that happened.
So wait, so you would stop reading One Piece? You said
I wouldn't stop reading it. I would just see what would happen to end. But I would. I mean,
yeah. But
I
I'm
wouldn't
saying,
be.
but like,
I would not be interested in the series.
all right, but you don't think that it would still be? You don't think it would still be dope? You think just
No,
because like
I don't think it
Luffy
would
and
be
them died?
dope. Yes, because the reason I asked you that specific question, Ty, is because if you kill off your entire main cast 80% through the story, it's probably not a good reason for doing that.
Okay, well, I think like what would come from it. I don't think like what will come from it will be bad. But all that I'm trying to say, I'm not saying that I don't have no biases in existence. I'm not saying like I'm a god. And I'm talking about this topic, like One Piece, where yeah, I love it, but I love it for the story. Naruto, I love it for the fights and stuff like that. But even with Naruto, like it's just that the way I look, like we're not I'm not at home just like right now. Like I'm not at home just reading a One Piece chapter for my own personal enjoyment. I'm not just we're not face to face just chilling talking to One Piece for my own enjoyment. Like I I gave my serious thoughts about Ivankov and Kuma. Well, I'm like, hold on. From what I seen, and again, like, it's not no bias for Ivankov. It's just like, like from what I seen, Ivankov was a lot stronger than what these people are giving Ivankov credit for. And the same thing, like these right hand men is more stronger than what people are giving them credit for. So I spoke my mind on it, and then so that's all that I ever did. So when people's like, yo, Ty, make a channel, whatever, or as you've seen in the and like in that stream that I got asked to come in the comments, people are like, yo, we need Ty, we need Ty to come in there and like say the truth. Or Ty needs to go in there. He needs to like because they know how. At the same time, some people they have some issues with some stuff, whatever, and they think I'm biased. But some people they like how not biased I am about it. So the thing is that I do. It's like one of the reasons why I make content, Drizzt, is to not be biased about it and to just tell the facts. So at the end of the day, like when I made that Marco versus Kizaru video, I wasn't like I love Marco. I hope Marco does better. It's not like okay, they trying to downplay Marco. I'm gonna make them like Marco with this. It was just like no, it was like okay, we have character A Marco, character B Kizaru. Let me actually see what happened. Let me analyze it. Let me look at it. And then I made the video about it, a fair video. I didn't try to like give one person an edge or no nothing. Like I made all my power scaling videos. Like I said, if y'all go to my channel, y'all look at which is Tyquan 1000 Finest. I go to One Piece power scaling videos. You'll see like I make these fair arguments about it where it's like you can't say and you can't be like, oh, okay, he's gassing it. Like I don't think that guy can make a fair argument to say that Zoro is Janko level. Like I'm making fair arguments. I'm not being biased. It's one of the things that I do where it's like it's part of I take pride in it. You know what I mean? But it's not that like, oh, I'm biased about it. Like this is like I'm working hard to not be biased at it because that's not the point. This is the point. The point of it is not like it's not like okay, oh, I like Marco. Since I like Marco so much, I'm gonna make them like Marco. It's not like I like Capone so much. I'm gonna make that like Capone. Virgo, I hate Virgo design, but you got to give it to him the way he had his hockey. You know what I mean? So I just highlight characters who have great abilities, and then sometimes design wise, people disrespect certain characters by design wise, like based off what I seen on the story. You know what I mean? I seen like Big Mom is matched on like she's probably the strongest Yonko in the story. But some people just because of looks, like she's fat and she's a girl, and I'm pretty sure that had to do with it. They thought she was the weakest Yonko, but it's like no, this is not about looks. You know what I mean? Like the Revolutionary Commanders. This is not about looks. Those people are probably very strong. Ivankov, I'm pretty sure that like if Ivankov had a more dope design like the Crow guy from the Revolutionary Army, the conversation would have never been Kuma stronger than Ivankov. It would have been like, yo, they're probably equal, or maybe Ivankov is stronger. But because of the portrayal of it, you know what I mean? Like I'm good at seeing things the way for what they are and stuff like that, and not letting like somebody character design throw me off about the true power scale. I'm not letting people's like titles and stuff like that throw me off from the power scaling and stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I seen Jack do what he did on Zoe for 5 days, still went to try to rescue Dofi. They said, yo, this is an admiral, a fleet admiral. He's like, yo, I don't care. He sunk some ships and he still went back and went. It's like, yo, this you know that's like the most impressive thing we ever seen a villain do. Just like that, those series of things. Like a lot of people haven't been shown to have that type of durability to do that. I know that recently Ashra Doji, he kind of broke his weapon and kind of made him look weak temporarily, but that was crazy. So, just based off this speculation of it, I'm like, well, hold up. Like, we didn't see Marco. Marco wasn't that strong at Marineford. Marco wasn't on some like, okay, I'm going to try to like fight, I'm going to try to fight Sengoku and Kizaru at the same time. I don't care. You do know who I am. Marco wasn't like that. Marco was like, okay, he fought Kizaru, got the better to fight. Marco wasn't going crazy. Jack was going crazy. Like, nobody could stop him. Like you would have thought it was like Jack Piece or something like that. So I just noticed it, and I'm like, okay, so you know what? My speculation at this point in the story is that, like from what Jack is showing, he has to be strong enough. So I think based on what we've seen, and that hasn't really changed because Marco hasn't shown us anything that changes this from what I've seen, that Jack can probably beat just because, matchups matter and stuff like that. Just because Marco's right-hand man and Jack is, Kaido's third all-star, whatever the case is. I don't look at it just like that. I don't power scale like right-hand man beats third. Like if I see what Jack did, I power scale it based on what I've seen people did. So Marco could possibly though do what Jack did just because he can heal. You know what I mean? But Jack was a monster. That's how I'm power scaling. I'm not power scaling it based off of a bias out for these certain characters. I'm just power scaling it. You know what I mean? Like the people who do screw attack, some people get upset. That's how they do certain things. But I think that the reason why they do it is just like, they don't really know these characters like that. You know what I mean? They just want to like, try to research the characters. Maybe they miss stuff, so sometimes they get bad at them. They just want to research it and do it. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, I read One Piece on my own. Like when I'm in fan mode is when I don't stream. You know what I mean? When we're streaming, I'm not in fan mode unless the chapters are so dope. I'm like, yo, that's just dope. But I'm being really analytical about this whole thing. About what it is. Like, it's not a bias.
All right. So what I kind of want to do now, Ty, is I'm gonna say two last things, and I want you to give your last words so that we can kind of wrap this up because it's gonna be going on to near. Let me go ahead and check. 3 hours.
Okay.
So a little bit over what I would have desired, but we're gonna be putting it up anyway. So the last thing I'll say, Ty, regarding this entire Yonko Warlords thing, is that one of the reasons that I think that more people aren't Admiral level is because if you oversaturate how many people are actually Admiral level, it completely ruins the entire purpose of the Admirals serve in the story to begin with. And Oda once said that Marine HQ, which is mostly comprised of the Admirals, plus the Warlords, that those two systems equal all four Yonko combined. And for me, I think that's kind of telling of what we should do to respect the Admirals as a whole. Now, you can disagree with that. You can think Oda's on crack whenever he says that. But I think there is more than enough evidence to provide to say the Admirals are on a different level compared to most of the commanders outside of Rayleigh and Beckman, because they have been portrayed differently than every single commander in the series we've seen so far due to their vice captain portrayal. Now, I'll leave it over to you for the closing remarks. Try to keep it to maybe like a minute, like 2 minutes or so.
Okay, so I think that, again, that's one of the statements where like the fleet admiral counts. It's not just the admiral. I think the fleet admiral counts, and it's just like with Don Chincha. I think the fleet admiral counts.
Even by your own admission, Ty, you think that Akainu is low admiral level?
No, right now, I think he's possibly like he's hard to scale because I think he's like black. I think he's in a situation like black. Okay, like he's like low tier Yonko level, I think. But he could be better than that. It's hard to scale him because he wasn't Yonko level at Marineford. That's all I'm gonna say. He wasn't Yonko level at Marineford, not from what I can see. But it's like right now, you would think he has a position, and you can't take that from him. You know what I mean? But I would think I think he has a chance of beating a Yonko. You know what I mean? But only him, because he kind of showed to me like he showed the potential at Marineford. He was the only one to me that showed the potential to actually, get to where he's at right now. So he showed the potential. He showed the potential at Marineford. Right now, he's probably embodying that potential. And like, yeah, he's at a Yonko level. But as far as Aokiji, I can't say that he showed that potential. I can't say Kizaru showed that potential. They show potential to be their ranks of the Admiral level. The thing about too many people being at level oversaturates the market. Like, I think that, of course, that it's only 3 Admirals at the end of the day. So they're going to be stronger than most of the commanders, but I do think that from what I've seen anyway, like with Marco having the better of the fight versus Kizaru, with Katakuri's observation being, from my speculation, being way better version of a future sight than what I've seen the others do. It just seemed that with the right hand, like it's kind of like no question down. Not Akainu, because dude is way stronger. And keeps in mind, I'm talking about right. It's tricky because it's like not at Marineford. At Marineford, I'm pretty sure like Katakuri is on par with Akainu at Marineford, if that's what we're talking about. But if we're gonna talk about like right now, it's like no, Akainu he's a Yonko now. He's a Yonko level character now. So these right hand men, they show to have future sight, crazy recovery. We don't know what King can do. We don't really know what Ben Beckman can do, but they're very strong. I don't think the portrayal. See, like you think the portrayal stopped at Rayleigh, and you think it stopped at Ben Beckman. I think that it was shown with Marco where he was just did what he did, and they had to nerf him in order to stop him from shining. And then with Katakuri, it's crazy. Dude was like wilding out. So I think the betrayal is there. And I think it's a King. He just sent the whole Big Mom shit back. I know it wasn't a 1v1 thing, but I think his why did you think you was gonna do it one ship comment was dope. But it's like I think the portrayal for all the right hand man is high. And I was talking to Brago one time, and I think that Big Mom would have did to what she did to King too, maybe just a little bit more hits, or maybe the same thing. Who knows? But Oda wouldn't even put the right hand man in that type of predicament. He always makes the right hand men, look good.
I agree with that.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't do it to the second hand people. The second hand people he makes them look a little better. But I think the right hand men, they all have been portrayed highly. Now when it comes to people like Jozu, who I said like I think Jozu's A, I think Aokiji's A. With Jozu is something where it's like okay, like Aokiji can be more destructive than him. I don't think it's crazy to say that Jozu is not on that level because Whitebeard didn't seem worried. He was like Whitebeard was very proud every single time a Yonko every time an Admiral tried to attack him, and his commanders came like, you're not gonna stop what you're doing. Kind of like how Zoro did with Pika, like, yo, what are you doing with my captain? You got no business, fight me. Every single time they tried to make it their business to attack Whitebeard, a commander came like, nah. Marco like, you can't just go for the head. Jozu stopped it. So it's like, and Whitebeard is like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's my crew. So I think you just have to be, not to use this word, I just got to be not biased. I got to really like give the commanders a chance, like really power skiller. Don't like, and the thing too is Drizzt, it's a hype train. When it's a hype train, it's always easy to be like, it's that like, the Admirals get the praises, the right hand men, they don't really get the praises. So yeah, like if y'all want to, I'm just trying to help the truth be known. That's the really stuff I speak on. So if y'all give them a chance and y'all look at it, you know what I mean? Y'all see that these commanders are a lot stronger than what they're saying. And then the third commander, like people like Cracker, I think Cracker's low Admiral level too. Like I think Cracker can fight what's his name? Kizaru, possibly, but I think he can fight Green Bull and possibly I think he can fight Fuji and possibly. I don't think it's at a point where it's like, okay, Admiral fights Cracker, that's it, they lose. Because if Whitebeard commanders could do what they did, I think Big Mom commanders could do something similar. And you know that they said that Big Mom had the strongest crew, even though this was in the past.
Not the strongest crew, strongest family.
Oh, okay, strongest family.
Is there anything you wanted to shout out or like say before we left? Because I'm probably gonna end it here because I got work in the morning.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so just shout out to Drizzt Discord. Thanks for voting me to have this neck to neck with Drizzt. I appreciate it. I didn't really know what was going on. I thought somebody was trolling because I know like he would be like highlighting the parts in Brago's stream, we'd be going at it and stuff like that. So it was on one of my streams. They was like, yo, when are you gonna do the neck with the? I'm like, yo, what are y'all talking about? Me and Drizzt is not gonna do a stream. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, stop trolling in my comments. Because people will come and they'll say ridiculous stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, stop trolling. And then they're like, no, we're not trolling. So thanks. And this was cool. Hopefully y'all like it, you know what I mean? And don't be so quick. It seems like in this community for some reason, when I say stuff, and then a lot of stuff I mentioned for the first time, it's not like it's stuff that y'all already know and stuff like that. But it's like for some reason, like if I say something, people are so quick to be like, I don't agree. Or whatever like that. Like stop being so quick to say you don't agree with me and listen to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm try to like pay attention to it. Like I commented on Legend Mac had a video where he said, what would happen if Kid fought Katakuri, would he have won? And Max said, he thinks he would either for win too, because Luffy has been shown to be like on the same level as Kid as far as like them both having conquest hockey, them both losing the Kaido, and both being in the prison and stuff like that. So I said, I agree. I think Kid with high different win against Katakuri too, and I think he would actually do a little bit better because I think that Luffy's still growing and struggling, and I think Kid, not like he wouldn't struggle in the fight. I think Kid would do a little bit better. I think he would struggle less because I think he's stronger than Luffy. Luffy's getting stronger as we speak, so I think this arc will be the arc where Luffy will surpass Kid. But I think like up until Luffy learned the barrier and stuff like that techniques, that I think Kid was strong. And then who knows, Kid could already know the barrier technique and can still be a little bit stronger than Luffy. But I said I think Kid can be kind of crazy. Somebody who's gonna comment talking about I don't agree. Like your son, like you, like
I agree with you.
you,
I think Kid could be Katakuri.
yeah. Like I'm using a lot of evidence to try to back that up. Mac is using a lot of evidence to try to back that up. So when you just come and say, not like it's any right or wrong, but for you to just come and be like, oh no, I don't agree. Like it's cool that you don't agree, but you got to use more evidence from the story to try to make your come up with your answer. Not just oh I don't agree thing. So like that's it. Just that because a lot of people say stuff that is good and people they just be like, oh I don't agree, or they
I
be like,
agree
oh
with you,
like
Ty. I do think
oh,
just to end the video, I do think some people discredit you before they actually hear you talk. So I do agree with letting you say your piece. But that'll probably end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below your thoughts and everything. And if you want to see Ty come back on for another episode, until next time, see ya.
peace.